Welcome back to The Good Talk, the show where we discuss what's hot, what's grot, and everything in between in the wide world of Warhammer. I am joined by the amazing Bridger Hahn and the fantastic Lindsay Van Zant. We are here on the basically the launch of 10th edition. It's finally arrived. Oh my goodness, and Games Workshop has been kind enough to send us Leviathan, and so we have the core rulebook here to talk about in all of its gory, glorious detail. Both. That was intentional. All right. It's going to be awesome. So if you all have any questions about the book, now is the time to ask them. We have them here. We have things we want to kind of go over. There's been a lot of questions buzzing, and we can answer some. And we're also going to take some peeks at some of the stuff that was streamed last night from Games Workshop at the KC Open.
Ask some new questions that arise.
We definitely have more questions than answers today, which is a great way to start an edition, right?
Ooh, yes. So much excitement. So much going on. It's a big book, I have to say.
Yeah, it's a weighty tome.
It's large.
And in charge.
And there's a lot of lore in it, which I love.
Yeah, exactly.
I was spending some time with a person who never Warhammered.
Oh, okay.
And I was like trying to go over the history of Warhammer with them.
Oh, wow.
Well,
I'm so sorry for
not
them.
the real life history of Warhammer, but like the lore. Like if you were to tell the story of Warhammer to somebody.
Yeah.
You start with like, well, we're man. And then the Dark Age, and then the Crusade, right? Like you have to go through all the steps.
Is that where you start?
Well, it's tough, right? It's tough. How do you explain this lore to somebody? But this book was helpful for me to recap that for myself, to be like, right, that was the order that all the things came in. Okay, so first, right?
Right? No, 100%. It's an amazing, deep history. This one really takes me back to my younger years. It does a good job of kind of balancing the lore and really focusing on the combat patrol, where it gives you a little taste of like what is possible in the game. So for new players, I think that's pretty cool. There's a lot of not rules in here. So
the art is stunning, though. Like there's a lot of full page spreads or like one page spreads of like just gorgeous art. To be honest, I haven't been in the hobby long enough to know, like, oh, that's from like 1995 or whatever. To me, it's all new art and it looks amazing.
No, there actually is a lot of new art, and there's actually a lot of new art there's several of Trajan for some reason.
Wow.
And he looks pretty
cool.
Very strange in a lot of them.
There's a lot of, from what I've noticed, there's a lot of like Imperial Council art of like, Gilliman's kind of hovering in the background.
Yep.
And then you have like Malcador and Trajan in the front, and they're chatting. And there's a bunch of like random Space Marine bodyguards in the background.
Exactly.
I've seen that picture done many ways.
There's a fantastic one of...
Look at that.
Oh, it's so good.
Look at that spread.
There's one of... it's got like all the new heroes. It's got like Lord Solar and stuff. I'll grab it somewhere at some point during the stream, but...
We've become an art review. Like it's a map of the galaxy. There's a new edition of the game, I guess, but more importantly, there's art.
And it smells good. So first of all, reviewing the smell. It's a good smell.
Look at nice.
Someone was asking about the smell.
Oh, good.
It's like,
Well,
does
here
it
you
smell good? And I was
It's got
like,
a
well,
good
I
smell.
have seen them sniff it.
It does.
So.
It does smell good.
It smells like new book, which is fantastic. And oddly enough, the pages get numbered twice. So you get pages roughly 100 and 200 pages, and then in the middle, the core rules start, and you start over at page number 1.
Well, okay. So, all right. Now, I encountered this very early on because I got the book and I was like, okay, where are the rules? So I went, of course, to the table of contents, and I was like, well, that's a great way to find where the rules are because there's a lot of lore. I want to get to the rules and read that. I'm a gamer. Well, the rules start on page 3, which, if you flip 2 pages forward, is not true.
Right.
So I encountered this very early on. There's a packet, not in the middle of the book, somewhere in the back third of the book, there's a packet of core rules of the game that are numbered on their own, presumably because they're going to print this as a self-contained packet and give to people.
Yeah, we were talking about the fact the book is actually called Leviathan, not the core rules. So, we're assuming there'll be a much more lightweight version later on with all that stuff. So let's dig into a bit of some of the stuff that we think is interesting and new, and some of it we're just kind of seeing together for the first time. We've seen bits of it. So what I want to do first with this fancy-dancy bookmark is let's take a look at the core stratagems. They're all here. There's way more than there used to be. So let's take a little book zoom here. See if we got this centered right.
Oh, look at those stratagems.
Oh, this is very disorienting.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah,
beautiful.
Perfect.
So the core stratagems, way more than before. So you can see on the left, we have some of the ones that we are kind of used to, right? We want 1 command point, 1 CP for a command point reroll, so that is still around, still has the same restrictions. Counter-offensive, which most of us know as interrupt.
Yep, that's what we've called it. This is actually, turns out, what it was named the whole time.
Yeah, it turns out, right? I learned that probably a month before the end of the edition.
They didn't even change the name.
Which makes sense, it works. Epic Challenge, what does Epic Challenge do, Bridger?
Well, it does give precision to a character in combat.
That's cool.
Why would you want precision on a character in combat? So that you can challenge their character and kill him.
That's so cool.
However, be warned.
Yep.
The precision keyword, we'll get to this later, requires line of sight to work at all.
Yeah, this is a big deal, actually.
So if you cannot see the character you are challenging, they cannot accept your challenge. You can't hit them.
You cannot duel someone through a wall, turns out. You can
is-
walk through it. You can't duel through it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I like this. This harkens back to older 40k, and this is. I feel like this is very divisive. Back in the day, you used to be able to actually challenge with one character to another.
Back in my day.
Back in my day, and if they denied your challenge, they couldn't fight at all.
Good.
They're like shamed.
No,
like
they
in the back of
deserve
the
that,
squad,
yeah.
Which is like totally unrealistic, but also totally 40k.
That's pretty great.
This one's kind of an in between. It has nothing to do with them accepting. You're just like, hey, I'm gonna duel you. You get precision.
They don't get a say in the
They
matter.
don't. They might take it to the same strat, but it's totally unrelated.
It'll be too late, let's be honest. They're already dead.
Exactly. Unless they're fighting through a wall. So we got that. Insane Bravery, very interesting, and feels like going to be very important in the Age of Battle Shock, right? This is the auto pass, but notable difference. 2 things. 1, it's only 1 CP.
Yep.
Big deal. And no longer once per game.
Yes, however, I think these are appropriate changes.
Yes, I agree.
We saw previously failing morale was often make or break, or didn't matter at all. So the only time you were using the stratagem was like a big swing of the game. Now, it's much less brutal to fail morale. You're not losing a bunch of models, but you do no longer hold objectives, and you can't fall back, and you can't use stratagems on them. And that's that no stratagem thing, I think, is the big part.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's also less command points in the game.
Exactly. If you saw our video that came out this morning, you actually start with 0 command points.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, like, these are very precious.
Yeah.
So 1 CP it still feels commensurate with the benefits that you get.
Yeah, I think this feels right.
Insane Bravery. What about grenades, Mr. Bridger?
Oh, it's so cool. Okay, you need a unit with the grenade keyword,
Okay.
which I like that that's a keyword now.
Yes.
They finally solved the riddle of like, how do we have grenades in the game without them just being another weapon, and then you fire all your, like, they fixed that. It's been awkward for a long time. So now it's 8-inch range always. You roll 6 dice, and on 4-ups they take a mortal.
Okay, okay.
So it's just do mortal wounds.
Do mortals.
It's a very cool strat.
On average, you're looking at 3 mortal wounds, but it could spike high, it could go low. 1 CP.
That's a great return on 1 CP historically.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, right? Normally you're looking at D3 or 2 mortal wounds for 1 CP.
right.
So getting a consistent, relatively consistent 3 is good. It also, you know, we're all curious, some of us skeptical of how much faster the game will be, but just removing all those little grenade profiles and putting them to a strat, I think is going to be great.
Yeah, everybody had their own version of grenades before. So there were people who had grenades that like didn't do damage. They did weird utility things.
Many of the standard grenades had 2 profiles.
Right, it was...
It's just like a lot of little fiddling around. So that's a small benefit of this one, right?
Yeah.
Now, the second one sees, the next stratagem sees the return of a classic, Tank Shock. Let's take a look at the book. So this is 1 command point. And I actually forget exactly how it works.
So you roll a number of dice equal to your strength.
Okay.
And on 5-ups, they take mortals up to 6.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you have like a strength 12 tank or something,
Yeah.
you're looking at an average of 4. Pretty good.
Ooh, I like it. I can also see certain tanks getting bonuses to this.
Oh,
which would be
yeah,
pretty
that'd be
spicy.
cool.
I'm thinking about my old, death rolls and stuff like that. Could maybe have something.
Or like when you put a dozer blade on something, like it gets bonus to tank shock.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be cool.
I think it's fantastic. Rapid Ingress, this one, of course, we have seen, several of these we've seen, but this one is at the end of your opponent's movement phase, you can bring in a unit from reserve.
Whoa.
Huge.
Whoa.
And this is something I think we're seeing in a few places now. We talked about like Grey Knights being uppy downy Marines. They have this like play and counterplay between turns at the end of turns, which it's going to do some huge things for the pacing of the game, right?
Yes. And this next stratagem is also going to do things for pacing of the game. But let's talk. Let's finish on rapid ingress.
Totally.
Why is this important? Why do you want to deep strike in the opponent's turn? Because then you can move on your turn.
Exactly. That has not changed. You cannot move after you deep strike. So just come in turn earlier.
It's a big deal. But they can shoot you. You're coming in their move phase. There's trade-offs here. There's a lot of trade-offs here.
They can shoot you. They can charge you. They can. Well, yeah, that's about it.
They can Overwatch you. Let's talk about Overwatch.
Oh, how does Overwatch work now?
Oh, it's not just when you're charged anymore. It's anytime. Hold on. I don't want to mess this up. When you finish a move or a charge, any kind of move or a charge, or when you come in from reinforcements.
Does it actually say that?
No.
It actually doesn't.
No.
We're gonna have to get technical because then it's like, do they count as having?
No, when you're set up. Yeah, when you're set up.
Okay, cool.
Or normal advance or fallback or charge. So pretty much exist within 24 inches
Yeah, don't be doing that.
of a thing with a gun. It can spend a CP and shoot you. Now, it is still Overwatch, hitting on 6s.
Yep. Unless you're a flamer, then you don't care about hitting.
Ooh.
So it makes flamers, breathes new life into flamers.
Saucy.
Very, very exciting. I keep telling anyone who will listen, including Jesse, that we need to get all the immolators with flamers because flamers are cool.
They are cool.
Yeah.
Torrent weapons in general. Torrent being the new flamer keyword.
exactly.
They put torrent on more things than it's not just flamers anymore, right?
Right.
There are a lot of perhaps like psychic attacks that could be torrent. Like it's just it's a keyword. It just goes on weapons.
Yep.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. This next one, go to ground. Again, kind of harkening back to older editions. So this is when you get targeted, 1 command point, only works on infantry, gives you a 6+ invulnerable save, and the benefits of cover.
Interesting.
Right? This one feels, the invuln feels very niche and kind of an act of desperation.
Yep.
Cover, however, is interesting. Now, again, if you checked out our video from earlier today, cover has been flattened. Basically, if you're receiving the benefit of cover, you get +1 to your armor save.
That's it.
And so that is very spicy. You can, with infantry, basically have cover in case you need it. And this, I believe, works until the end of the phase. Yep. So I like this for the cover. The invuln, it's going to be in desperate moments.
Cover on demand is nice.
Yes.
Now, it is worth remembering, cover cannot take you from a 3-up save to a 2-up save.
Correct.
But it's in all other instances a +1. Cool. Smokescreen also gives you cover.
Ooh,
So you get stealth, which is -1 to hit,
Yep.
and you get cover, which
gives you
is
stealth
is
too.
pretty great.
Oh,
so
that's just better.
Smoke is still -1 to hit, but it now also gives you cover. Cover on vehicles, I think, is going to be a lot more common than we are used to.
Yeah.
It's going to be high impact on those 2-up save vehicles. Going to a 1-up save in an edition where they took a lot of AP away and your high toughness,
Yeah.
really big deal. Vehicles are going to be tough.
They really, really are. I know there's been a lot of jokes everywhere on the internet, and I'm sure we've made a few about like, is this game less lethal? Does this game have less rerolls? The lethality thing, I think I'm really curious to see how that pans out in the next few weeks as we start playing games, because I don't know. I think tanks are going to be really tough.
Right, without a doubt, vehicles are significantly harder to kill than they've ever been.
Exactly.
What about this next intervention? This changed a lot, Adrian. Tell me about intervention.
So big for the pacing of the game for a number of reasons.
Yep.
So heroic intervention is no longer a core rule that characters get. Instead, it's a stratagem. Now, it is expensive. It's 2 command points. But you can do it on any unit, doesn't have to be a character, and it's a 6-inch range. Now this is huge for many reasons. One of the big ones is this changes the way you can play the game.
Yeah.
In the interview with Stu Black, we asked like, is this still going to be a trading game where you trade things back and forth? And I think to me, this is one of the biggest things that makes that less possible. No longer can I jump on an objective with some storm boys and just kind of be like, neener, you can't kill me. Because a 6-inch is very powerful, and you can intervene with your whatever, intercessors, and fight. So it's going to be much harder to just pop onto a point standing just away from someone and to grab or score.
Right.
Which is cool, and it's fundamentally a huge change to the game.
And it's also worth noting, this intervention is 2d6. It's not a sure thing.
Oh my god, that's right.
You roll a charge. In fact, they say you make a charge move, but then later in the stratagem they say you don't get any of the benefits of charging.
Oh man,
So
you don't
like,
fight first. Okay.
Right, you don't fight first. You don't count as charging for any rules that care about that. But it's not a sure thing.
It's not.
Which I like. I think more variance in this game is nice.
It's very nice, and of course anything that slows your charge or whatever will affect you, so it kind of creates more interaction.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, that is the core stratagems.
That is.
There's There's a lot more to go there. Do we have any questions regarding the stratagems before we move on, Lindsay? Or are we good? Put you on the spot.
Nope. Nope, not yet.
All right.
Cool. Got a comment on your
Attire.
attire, and then we have a comment on just general new things. So
Cool.
We're field reporters. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, we're here in the field, in the studio.
In our film studio, out in the field, reporting on these new rules.
I'm not at home. Well, that's not true, actually.
you're also not in the where you usually play the game.
Yeah.
So,
Right. Yeah.
We're in a faraway land now.
Yeah.
It's true.
On the other side of the studio.
So far, you have no idea. So stratagems. What else should we dig into here?
Ooh, I think weapon abilities are interesting. The keywords that they put on weapons.
Okay, yeah.
Are there any keywords that we have not seen thus far? I think Lance. I don't think they actually went over
I was
Lance.
going to say Lance is one of the ones that I want to talk about. Most of them we've seen. And again, we can put the book, but we'll probably just talk about a couple of the key ones.
Yeah,
here,
we'll pick them out. Ones
so
that we
let's take a
like.
All right. So you want to talk about Lance, yeah?
So Lance is something that we've seen on a lot of cavalry before in the game, but now it is like itemized. It's everybody. We've all agreed on what to call it and what it does. It's +1 to wound when you charge.
I love it.
It's just it's a great rule. And this gives them the flexibility to say, well, you're not cavalry, but you're like cavalry.
Right.
Under these weird circumstances, you have a lance, and you have a lance, and you have a lance.
What?
Which I think is great. It's just good. It's just good.
It gives that flexibility too. Again, you have a lot of impact hit stratagems that you no longer need to add like bespoke ones for each book.
Right.
They could represent that here. This is like the old Blood Angels rule, which they don't have anymore.
Yep.
So,
But to be honest, a lot of cavalry had rules like that. Like Custodes cavalry
it's just
had
standard
+1 to wound on the charge.
Yep.
And in 9th edition, they actually unified the spear so that they have essentially the same profile.
Yeah.
It's just on the charge to cavalry has lance.
Exactly. I just want to do a brief shout out to the way that these keywords work, which is particularly interesting, and some changes. Assault, advance, and shoot. Notice there's no minus. You just advance and you shoot.
Yes.
Which is awesome. Let's see, rapid fire, which I believe is on the next page.
No, it's right under assault.
Oh, it's right there. Is just you get X number of extra shots when you're within half range. Now, I really like this as an orc player because they started making up all these weird profiles toward the end of the edition. We had Hunter, we had Daka,
Yep.
we had all these things. But here you can elegantly create those. So you can now have a gun that is assault and rapid fire, which is basically what I wanted Daka to be.
Right.
And so it's cool. It works really well. And of course, heavy, which we've also all seen before, is just +1 to hit if you don't move. Many of the profiles seem to have that -1 baked in.
Built in, yeah.
So it's not going to functionally be different for some units, but for others, you're really incentivized to stay still. It's not just about punishing you. So
An interesting thing about heavy,
yeah.
you will want to be careful when looking at your bonuses of whether they're +1 to hit
Yes.
or whether they're +1 ballistic skill, because you can't have +2 to hit. But you can have +1 to hit and +1 ballistic skill.
Exactly.
Heavy is +1 to hit, which will pair nicely, like a fine wine, with +1 ballistic skill wherever you may find that.
Exactly.
There are no keywords here that do that.
No.
But this is just a word to the wise. Be on the lookout, because they exist. They're out there, and it's easy to miss. As a 9th edition veteran, it's easy to glaze over, +1 to hit. Okay, yeah.
Right.
But actually, if you look closely, it's +1 BS on some of these things. Very important.
It's going to matter a lot. The last one I want to mention on this page is indirect fire. Of course, big boogeyman in any edition, frankly. And the question is, what does it do now? Well, it still works largely how you think. You can shoot out of line of sight.
Yep.
And what it does is you're -1 to hit, so not ballistic skill anymore, important. And the target has the benefit of cover. Now that's an important difference because previously it was +1 to their armor save,
Right.
which meant if they were also in cover, they're going to be even tougher.
Yeah.
So what does this mean? This is not as good for people in cover,
Right.
but functionally the same if you're outside of cover.
But also means that if you ignore cover, for whatever reason, perhaps you have this ignores cover keyword over here, then they get no bonus to their save.
Right. So they're kind of giving themselves an out, which on one hand makes me nervous.
Yep.
On the other hand, not having a blanket way to treat indirect fire maybe is good. Maybe some indirect fire could afford to ignore cover, and most of them would not. would not, and they can kind of balance based off of the actual unit.
It just scares me. It
Yeah,
frightens
right,
me.
that's fair.
Living in a world where there are fewer penalties to not seeing your opponent
Right?
it's a scary world to me.
It's a little spooky, so we'll keep an eye on that.
We'll keep an eye on it. Also, precision requires line of sight from the model with precision to the character. And Blast did significantly change. Blast is now +1 attack per 5 models, rounding down, and you still can't shoot Blast in combat.
Beautiful.
But +1 attack per 5 models is a lot more interesting than what we saw before.
So punishing.
And it was so confused. A lot of people were confused. It's not necessarily the Blast was confusing. It's just that people often mixed up, I have 3 D3 attacks versus 1 attack with 3 D3 attacks. And now I can see why you'd be confused by that.
Right.
So now they've just consolidated it down. It's +1 attack per 5 models. Nice and clean.
Much, much easier. Anything worth mentioning on the third page? I guess.
Anti and devastating do pair. Also, let's look at that beautiful art. Look at
Lovely.
look at all these weapons.
This is an oldie but a goodie. Space Marine Codex art.
I miss. They took these away in 9th. These like weapon
Bring them back.
pages. They just look so cool.
They should have, you know how they're doing like cards? They should have cards.
Oh yeah, like an armory card.
An armory card.
They should make. You know how they had like those life-size cutouts of football players?
Yeah, yeah.
I want like a life-size cutout of this armory page that I could put like in my room.
Wait, it's just a big square?
No, of each of the things.
Oh, okay.
Like I could have a Crozius over here and like a bolter over there. You know, just to decorate my room.
Okay. I'm on board. I was like, that sounds like a poster, Bridger.
You can't tell me you wouldn't also do that. Either.
I would
You
100% do
Yeah, that would be.
Definitely.
Cheat up, you get on
Lindsay, I know you would too. We know you want the
You
lightning
would.
claw.
You would.
They're pretty cool. Okay, yeah, they're pretty cool.
A giant assault cannon that's like the size of your bed. That would be dope.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just like
true to scale, these would be good.
True
right
to
above
scale.
your bed too.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh,
someone walks
yeah.
in, just like, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I love it.
But yeah, so anti and devastating wounds. Anti says on a X plus, often it's a 4 that we've seen.
Yeah.
You count as a critical, which always succeeds, but notably it's a critical, which means when paired with devastating, that critical wound goes straight to mortal wounds.
Yep.
So anti-devastating, very powerful combo. You're going to see this
good.
come up a lot.
And in a similar note, I just want to flag this because I know people are going to make the mistake. We have lethal hits, which is auto wounding. Now, if you auto wound,
Yep.
you do not get a chance to get devastating wounds, right? This is only on your wound roll.
Right.
So if you auto wound with lethal hits, you're just going to skip this round over. So that's actually a pairing that you actually want to avoid.
It's an anti-pairing.
It's an anti-pairing. Yeah. That's the word. Yeah.
Yeah, a non-bow, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
I think.
Yeah, that's about it.
Oh, Twin Linked is back. That's kind of cute.
Yeah, we get 4 rerolls to wound,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Oh, less rerolls.
Oh. And I think actually lastly, the hazardous. Interesting. It no longer auto kills someone, which is how it works for some factions. Instead, for every 1 that you roll, it's going to be 1 mortal wound or 3 mortal wounds for monsters and characters. So,
Well, sorry. For every 1 that you roll, you're dead unless your character, monster, or vehicle. Then you take 3 mortal wounds.
1 model
Is destroyed.
Oh, it does say that. All right, never mind. Just kidding. So it's actually standardized to the harsher version,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Because pretty much only the Space Marines and Chaos Space Marines had the die on overheat.
Right.
Now the general rule is die on overheat, and you would need like a different thing to override
Which
that.
is, and they also made it less punishing for characters. So a character with a plasma pistol will shoot it, maybe.
Maybe.
Whereas before, you never shot your plasma pistol as a character. It just wasn't.
It's too risky.
Which is dumb. That's not what you like.
Yeah.
They're the cool character holding their plasma pistol.
I
They
know.
should shoot it.
I know. It was we had it was a few weeks ago. You're like, I'm a tech marine overheats, and you roll the dice, and you just looked, kept going, and then it's the 1, and I see it, and Chad sees it, and Lindsay sees it, and you're just like doing your thing. We're like, you dead?
No, I stuck by it. Somebody
did.
tried to be like, no, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
No. He's a tech
said
marine.
it.
He's a hero. He overcharges his plasma pistol every time, okay?
He's living his life. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's ready to die. To Valhalla.
What else? Oh, let's talk briefly about missions and combat patrol and all that stuff. So today we are just talking about this, so it doesn't have like, excuse me, all the secondary cards and stuff. We'll talk about some of that has been revealed by G-Dubs, but I want to take a look at the combat patrol because a lot of players are curious and interested, and we're going to actually be playing that very, very soon. So let's take a look. I'm just going to choke briefly, and let's pull up some combat patrol missions. Because I don't really know that they've shown. They did a battle report, I believe, with it, and that was it. All right, let's take a look at this bookie here. Pause for
applause.
Excellent. All right. So I like how simple and approachable this part of it is laid out. You just roll a d6, you get your missions. Doesn't say anything about secondaries here. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now keep in mind, the full missions also don't say anything about that. So this can depend on the pack that you're playing.
Yep.
And then the missions are quite simple. You can see here, they're kind of standard loadouts. This one, actually, Lindsay and I played recently, and this is basically you get 5 points for each objective that you hold. If you're going second, you score at the end. So that's something that is still carrying over to the new edition. And then this one was kind of cute. Retrieve intelligence. You basically perform an action. Don't really exist anymore, but they say if you could shoot, don't shoot, and you'll do this thing.
And don't charge. Don't shoot and don't charge.
Which is also interesting in and of itself. And if you do that on an objective while your warlord's alive, you get a command point. So very simple. I was really curious to see how different these things would be. And it's not fundamentally different. It's just very much pared down. So I'm excited. Very basic missions, but you can see they actually have pretty different layouts. And the rules are, they're interesting.
They have gross baby heads, too.
There's so many
So many baby heads.
There's a lot of baby heads in this
We
book.
talked about art. There's a lot of baby head art in here.
I know, right?
Great. Look at that. Look at that.
So cultured.
You know, right?
Is that a rat man? Well, look at his teeth.
It looks like, yeah.
It's definitely a rat man.
I like this orc skull. That's pretty sweet. So that is it. If you're worried about long, lengthy rules on Combat Patrol, this is the entirety of the Combat Patrol rules.
Which, to be fair, largely just the rules of the game.
It's so simple. But hey, join us tomorrow.
Ooh.
John and I are going to be playing the first Combat Patrol game, and this is the first time we're announcing it. Join us Sunday and Monday. Lindsay, Mel, myself are all going to be playing Combat Patrol and taking people through it. So if you're new, if you're trying to learn the edition, we're going to be focusing on that. It's going to be awesome. Yeah.
So much going on.
Right? So that's Combat Patrol. Just wanted to mention a bit about that.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
It's exciting.
The one thing about that quasi-action thing, I think that's worth noting.
Yeah, I do want to talk about that.
The assault keyword does allow you to advance and do that,
Yep.
which is quite nice. Any rule that lets you fall back and shoot lets you fall back and action.
Yeah.
Right? Which is, I think is a cute way to like put a bow on it. But they did take away the ability, I guess, they lost the nuance between saying you can fall back and shoot or you can advance and shoot versus you can fall back in action and advance in action. Now it's just smushed together.
Yeah. I think I'm torn on it, frankly, because on one hand, it's very much opposite of the philosophy of this. Like, that could be a keyword action that's super simple. On the other hand, it does match the philosophy in the edition in the sense that it's going to be there's much less room for mistakes, right?
Right.
There's a lot of weird interactions where you're like, normally you can't action, but sometimes you can, and this thing lets you do this. Now, you just treat it like shooting, and those buffs, like you said, work across purposes. And so I'm fine with it. It just makes for a lot of text on some of these mission sections.
Yeah, and it's not codified. They didn't say, like, there's no section of the rules, and that's probably another thing we're talking about, but we'll get back to that.
Yeah.
It's not codified as this is an action, here's what an action is, which means we're unlikely to see rules that say you can do an action and shoot, or you can do an action and charge, or your actions complete faster, or whatever, right? I think that all of those rules are gone, because actions aren't a thing anymore.
Yeah.
But also, that thing I want to come back to is that there's not very many places in the book where they cover the edge cases.
No.
There's no, like, round up or round down, or multiply and add. There's no, here's how you modify things. Like,
That's right.
The rules are pared down to just be a packet that answers the most basic questions you could ask.
Yep.
And they generally got a lot better about removing those loopholes, but we still have a lot of questions of like, well, what happens if you do this thing? Exactly. What happens if these things end up together? Like, you can get sustained hits multiple ways.
Oh, so if you have two instances, do they stack? Do they replace each other?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a very hands-off approach, which is pros and cons, right?
Yeah.
The other one I was thinking about was, it would just seemed odd until you realize that there actually isn't, that paragraph doesn't exist in the book. We just saw the new Genestealer cult rules, right? Yep. When a unit dies on a 4+, they come back to life. However, if you're battle line, you get +3.
Right.
Oh, well, 1 + 3 is 4. That's a weird way to word it, and it's because the 1 no longer automatically fails.
Right.
It just happens. So there's weird things like that, and every once in a while, it's like, is this meant to be an exception?
Do they?
So I expect awkwardness with that as we learn. You know.
We'll get used to it over time. I think the oral history or the oral tradition of 40k will carry on. A lot of the things that you might expect to be written in stone aren't, because they wanted a pretty book, which they got. It's a very pretty book. And I think they wanted a condensed rules packet so that it's simpler. That is just a Roman. That's just a Roman.
That's Leontis. That's some new art from
But he's
Leontis.
just a Roman warrior. I opened to a random page and just found a Roman warrior.
You're upset.
Which upholds my theory that all of 40k is a Holy Roman Empire fanfiction. Oh, that art is so cool.
This is the one I was looking for.
Oh,
Here,
this
here.
is. Look at.
Put it here. Let's get closer.
Put her there.
This is a super,
it's-
super dope picture. Look at this. Look
Wow.
at that.
Whoa.
This is the. Oh, that's good.
Right.
Why is your book so much classier?
Well, you know.
Never mind.
Guys, so cool.
It's so sick. And like how he's
Look
like
at
crossing his arms.
Why
is Trajan bald?
Back?
Yeah, look. So here's one of the weird ones. Trajan looks like Ron Perlman in this picture.
Why did they make him bald?
Like what?
He's not bald.
No,
No,
he
he has
doesn't. He's
hair.
not bald. He has like a really short, like.
He's like a receding hairline.
He does have hair.
He's got like he shaved it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just went to the barber, you know,
Yeah.
and
exactly.
he was just like, just buzz it off,
Wow,
and he
he-
just buzzed it off.
Got
He
that
should-
old guy haircut.
Punish
Yeah.
that barber. Put him in the depths.
This is that barber right here, actually. That's him. That's the guy. I
A
love
quick
this.
haircut before the picture was taken.
Yeah, exactly. This is such. I'm so glad that they are continuing to do this because it's so quintessentially 40k. Like these mega grim, dark, ornate, like almost like Baroque, paintings, and it's just so.
There's like Mordor in the background here. It's like, what is happening?
Wow, it really is. What the heck? Sorry. And of course, the thing that everyone's freaking out about too is in the beginning. Actually, I don't know what page it's on. Yeah, this couldn't go any.
What are they freaking out about?
There's a picture of the Emperor, and he has a face now.
Oh.
He's not a skull anymore.
Oh.
All right.
Well, it's an
Here-
artist's
oh,
rendition.
It's like the John Blanche photo, but now he has like a face.
But they can always walk it back. That's like, I don't know why anybody. Look, nothing in 40k is canon. That's the beauty of 40k.
Wow.
Is that the canon, and they've said this in so many places.
Yeah.
The canon is that all sources are unreliable.
Yeah.
And anything can be overruled.
No, but here's the thing. So one, I don't think the Emperor should ever get up. Sorry, that's just like a thing, right?
Agree. Strong agree.
I want it, but I know that it shouldn't happen.
Right. Yes.
But what kind of happens in the end of Arcs of Omen with the lion and everything, and the Blackstone fortresses and everything, is actually what's happening is the warp is kind of getting unleashed a little bit. Like, because of all this stuff that's happening, there's like the psychic energy is kind of growing. And let's not forget, like the Emperor is basically a god, a psychic god, and so he's actually getting stronger. And this may or may not have to do with all the weird stuff with the lion, and how is he appearing everywhere, and is the Emperor like teleporting him around? Yeah. So the Emperor is kind of healing and like doing more stuff in the world, and that's super cool.
I don't support the theory that the Emperor would be teleporting around the lion.
Well,
The Emperor doesn't really like the lion per se.
but the Emperor's he doesn't care about that though.
But he has Gilliman. Just teleport Gilliman around.
You think he likes Gilliman?
More than the
I
lion.
don't think he liked any of his sons.
The betrayer. Well, he liked Horus.
Yeah, see how that worked out. So he's like, he's been hurt before. He can't trust Gilliman. He's like too perfect.
I don't know. I think of his surviving sons,
Yeah.
he dislikes Gilliman the least.
Yeah. So here's the thing. If you had two sons, one you liked, one you didn't like, which one would you send out on all the dangerous missions and have no one talk to?
Oh, that's a good point.
Same.
Oh, I hadn't thought of it that way.
Yeah, go do this shady stuff.
Okay.
You might get stabbed in an alley and no one's
So
gonna be able
he's
to help
really
you.
just trying to get the lion killed. He's like
I would say-
teleporting him into these battles, trying to get him killed.
He's like
off.
not sorry if he gets killed. Sorry, Imperial players. You heard it here first.
Oops.
But this is exciting. This is the kind of stuff where it's like, okay, the story's moving forwards.
Right.
And it's a good balance. Like, he's not getting up. but he is doing stuff.
But he's,
And
he's got a
he
face
has a
again.
face now.
Yeah.
I'll find that picture.
That's cool.
I'll show it to you. It's cool.
There's a lot of great art in the book.
Yeah, it is awesome.
It's like the highlight of the book, to be honest.
Yeah, it usually is with these ones.
There are
so
Crusade
thick.
rules. We haven't talked about the Crusade rules.
Yeah, it's at the end.
There are Crusade rules in the back. There's a lot of them. For those of you who were overwhelmed by Crusade in 9th, my guess is that you will continue to be overwhelmed by Crusade in 10th.
The system is not fundamentally changed. With the Stu Black interviews, I know Matt at Mini Wargaming was particularly interested in Crusade. So if you want to get the full lowdown, definitely check out that video. But it looks largely the same, yeah?
Yeah, there's like custom relics, custom battle honors, requisitions. You like develop a history for your models over time. You fill out these cards. You end up paying points. There's all sorts of currencies that you spend on upgrades and modifications and all of that. And they do give a sample campaign mission pack, the Tyrannic War, in the back here. So they give special rules and battle traits to different kinds of units, more great art. Look at that Tyrannifex, dude.
Beautiful. They can't see it.
But I'm looking at it, and I want you to look at it, soak it in.
So good.
It's so good.
I love it.
Oh, we got nice flow charts.
Yeah, the little talent tree is really cute.
Yeah.
So, Tyranid War campaign. I'm curious. I want to play more of this. We meddled with narrative, but we'll definitely do more of this edition.
Crusade makes me wish I was a teenager again, so that I had the time and energy to do this, right? Where I want to be broke again and have like 10 models and try to find new creative ways to play with those 10 models.
Yeah.
I need to be a teenager, and then I can play Crusade. It actually looks really fun.
It's awesome. It's super fun. Well, we do have some images, as we mentioned, from the GW streams. Big shout out to Willa for getting us that.
Willow. Before
we dive on in, do we have any? Maybe we should take some super chat questions.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Well, first off, before we take any super.
Whoa. We're still streaming.
I'm
Don't
gonna
worry.
assume we're still live.
We're still
They
streaming.
just like
We're
locked the
good.
computer.
We're good. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. I just want to thank some gifted memberships
Oh, thank you.
Nice,
that
nice.
came in. So first off, we have 5 gifted memberships from Liam Dempsey.
Liam.
Liam popped
Liam.
in, said hi.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know if he's still hanging out.
Liam, are
but-
you doing a stream like this today? I'll bet you are.
He already did,
Yeah,
actually.
he already
Liam, did you already do a stream like this today? Go check out Liam Dempsey's channel. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's got some great opinions on Warhammer.
Lovely lad.
In it.
And then Just Jupiter also gifted a membership.
Oh, thanks,
yeah,
Just Jupiter.
Thank you, thank you.
Just Jupiter. Okay, so yeah, let's take some super chats. Sounds like everyone's been excited for 10th.
I'm excited.
Can't wait. Oh my god. I just want to roll dice.
Let's see. Let's do
I
this.
want to roll dice. You know, I got those little dice out from the Horse Heresy box. Those are nice dice.
Oh, they are nice
They
dice.
feel good in your hands.
Nice mouthfeel.
Nice mouthfeel.
Don't put dice in your mouth, kids. It's very dangerous.
Yeah, no.
I wouldn't recommend.
No. Well, anyway. This first one is from Primal Warfrog. Thank you so much, Primal Warfrog. Love the Night at the Roxbury cosplays. Scheduled a 40k teaching event next weekend. I look forward to being a teacher and student. You the greatest.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Thank you so much, Primal Warfrog.
Yeah.
That is exactly what we're looking forward to as well. And these learning games, we're going to be teaching and learning at the exact same time,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the best way to do it. So it's going to be very, very raw and uncut. Like, we're all learning. It's going to be awesome.
We're kind of going to be along for the ride with you guys in terms of like, we think this is how this works, but we don't really know. If somebody can give us like a direct citation of where in the rules you could tell us which way this goes, there's going to be a lot of that.
It's a lot of that. It's
But
going to be awesome.
it's a blast.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. This next one is from Fate Stay Dreamer.
Oh.
Do you want to answer questions about other things in 10th, or do you want to?
Good question.
Yeah, because this
depends.
is more about. This question is about another, like, different phases.
Yeah. Let's take it.
Yeah, let's
Take
do it.
Okay,
Let's do it.
yeah. Well,
No,
first,
no
yeah.
holds barred.
So first off, Fate, I'm just gonna jump ahead a few because Fate's Daydreamer also super chatted again,
Oh, cool.
saying hazardous is a separate roll from the attack roll.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
is
is
interesting.
So yeah, you can hit and still die,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Or you could miss and, Either way,
that was
you
always-
can die no matter what. Look, no matter
can
what,
die.
you can always die.
Clip that one.
Well, thank you, Fate Stay Dreamer. And so this next one is also from Fate Stay Dreamer. Thank you again. What are your thoughts on charge/fight phase changes? Having to move B to B is a big change. Also, fight first matters as the opponent.
Yeah. So this is a big change. We do talk about it in the video, but I think this is another place for a lot of tactics. I personally, I'll just be honest, I don't like it, actually. I think it's just going to create the potential for arguments. What does it mean for something to be possible? Like,
I hate that that's an argument
Right.
in our hobby.
Right?
I hate that we have to argue about whether you can get to base. Like, just get close. Just do it.
I know.
Just do the thing.
Well, here's the thing. You actually, in many cases, actually want to roll low on your charge. You want to roll enough to make it, but not enough that you are forced to base immediately, so you still get to do a bit of the surfing. And I hate that. Like, I understand the intention, but I personally think this particular rule misses the mark, and it's going to create more problems than it solves. I get the intention, but I don't love it.
So just to go over those who don't know what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
let's.
When you complete a charge, you must, if able, with each model, base an enemy model, moving as far as you can with the dice you roll.
Yeah. And that's the same for pile-ins.
Yep.
Consolidation's a bit separate, so we'll keep that out for now.
So what they were trying to get rid of was this idea of charging sort of diagonally or obliquely, not towards your target, charging to get on an objective, and then not really caring about the fighting. They want you to charge to fight. What they could not say is you must charge in a straight line towards the opponent, moving as far as you can, because to get all your models in, sometimes you gotta, do some shuffles and spread out and stuff.
Yep.
They will never find a way to write this that players won't abuse. It just saddens me that this is like a problem.
Well, but here's the thing, because you say abusing it, but it's also like, if you want to play this game tactically and competitively, like, this is a part of the game.
It is?
So I totally understand how you see it that way, but for me, it's also like, this removes, or at least attempts to remove a lot of the nuance. And it's like, I do the charge and I run in, and there's nothing to think about other than roll the dice and go in. And yeah, so I definitely agree, that's what they want.
Yeah, I think it was probably cleaner in 9th edition, where it was just like, I don't know, get one model in, and then do whatever you want.
I almost wish they didn't have it on the charge and they just kept it on the pile in, because the charge creates so many problems, whereas the 3-inch, it's actually much harder. And it is weird, because it is on a model per model basis, right? So you take like your, playing GSC, you take your big wolf quad, you have little bikes, and your big wolf quad goes in and goes, rah, 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 and then blocks off so nobody else can go eat. And then they can't reach. It means they get to do the things. It's weird stuff like that. But so, I want to complain about it, but it is what it is, and now we're going to try to solve the way that it is now, and how to play that to intent and also
what would be crazy? Hear me out.
Okay.
What if when you charged, your opponent moved your models?
That? What? Are there any restrictions?
Well, yes. You have to get as many models in combat as possible.
Yeah.
All the same stuff.
Yeah.
These rules, but your opponent moves your models.
Wow. That sounds horrible.
Pretty wild, huh?
It is definitely wild. We'll give you
Pretty
that
wild. They're never going to fix it. Because the changes were clearly that they did not like the swinging around.
Yeah.
They didn't like the tactical charge.
Yeah.
That's not something they want, as apparent in the rules that they wrote.
Yeah.
They didn't get rid of it, though.
They
can't get rid of it.
So yeah, exactly. And that's the problem. Like, I know the way I would prefer to do it, but I'm also fine if they implemented it to their like design, what they want, right? They want it to be simpler, they want to have less decisions points like that, that's fine. But my issue is they haven't done that, right?
They can't. I mean, realistically,
They can't.
There's no way to word this. It's like, you know it when you see it, but you can't describe it.
Yeah.
You can't like technically say this is okay and that's not okay.
Yeah. I like the, you have to be base to base to fight, or base to base with someone that's base to base. That actually solves their problem in a much better way, because it really reduces how much you can kind of fan out. Where you're like, I'm with half inch and a half inch, and then tagging into these guys. It's much, much harder. So, as for the fight first,
there's only 2 phases of fighting.
Yeah.
There's fight first and not first.
Yeah.
Or fight first and everybody else. There's no fight last, apparently, from what
no fight
this
last.
says.
Yeah.
And the opponent goes first in both of those. So if they have a fight first and you charge, They're fighting before you.
If you have a fight first and they...
If they have a fight first and you charged them,
Right.
you are both fight first, they start.
Right, it goes to the non-active player
Yep.
in all instances.
In all
now,
instances, yeah.
Which is cool. I like it.
It's interesting. I like that fight first matters. It was lame in 8th that fight first did literally nothing.
Yeah.
And fight first in 9th did mostly nothing.
And actually, yesterday, in the GW stream, we saw that our favorite sneaky boy, Mr. Foul Blightspawn, attach him to a unit, gives the unit fight first.
Which is like
Fight last.
fight last for the opponent. It's, they figured it out.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Face Day.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. This next one is from Jared Miller. Thank you, Jared Miller. And Jared Miller says, hashtag new 40k.
New 40k! It's finally here! We had a very therapeutic evening last night, destroying models that we can no longer play, and we're here for
Not
new
literally.
40K.
For those of you who didn't see it, we didn't literally destroy the models. We played a game with them and it was fun.
It was great. Well, yeah. We didn't intentionally destroy any. There were some models dropped after the stream.
Look, they didn't need to know that.
Well, now they did.
They didn't need to know that.
You dropped one, and you like shattered into a million pieces, and you got the glue, and you're like, wait a minute, this is magnetized. And then you actually dropped a different model that actually broke up like 2 minutes later.
Okay, but we
We'll never use it
we
again.
can't ever use it again, so it can't hurt anyone anymore.
I will say, kudos, you actually did glue that second model.
Oh, yeah.
Despite,
yeah.
you easily could have put it on like the
No,
back of the shelf,
no,
and we would
no,
never know
no,
for
no,
like
no.
3 years. So, shout out
It
to
was an
Bridget.
easy glue. It broke along the glue, so I was okay with it. If the resin had broken,
Yeah.
I probably would have just hit it. I would have put it in the back.
I appreciate the honesty.
This is somebody else's. Look, we're never gonna play with it again. So.
Exactly. Thanks, Jared.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. By the way, stop me anytime with these because they're
no
going to
worries.
keep coming in.
Totally.
But this one I think is a good one for right now. This is from Eamon.
Hey.
Thank you
Dude.
so much, Eamon. Does the rulebook have any background or lore?
Yes.
I was wondering if it may have any updates for what ended up happening with the lion,
Right.
which
I will
you guys were
investigate.
kind of touching on earlier.
Yeah,
So.
we'll take a look. I haven't dug through the lore yet. So cool.
I'm gonna
right?
stop on every page to look at the art.
I
might-
feel like it's probably in the beginning, right?
You might not get your answer.
Because there's a chunk of it that's just combat patrol.
I was gonna go to the Dark Angels section.
Yeah, but it's so. Oh, they're not all named. What the heck?
Dark Angels. The Lion Returned. There's a big black cutout for the Lion Returned. After the battle for Caliban reached its world-shattering climax. I'm not gonna read this whole thing.
But there is, it sounds like.
There
There's
is stuff.
something.
There's
Yeah.
new. Dude, look at this Death Guard picture.
Look at that blight launcher.
Ooh. Also, doesn't this look like an Xbox controller? I really like.
But that's
the side.
always been their symbol.
No, but they made it weird. They made the fly
That's
weird.
always been
All
their
right, you gotta-
symbol.
Yeah.
You
I'll
gotta
share with the
show.
class.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Look, totally Xbox controller. I'll just look at my coffee. And look at this guy. I don't think I've ever seen this one.
Blight launchers never look so cool.
So sick.
That guy's got a lot of spikes.
Amazing.
He's back. Don't touch him.
No.
He's like a cactus.
He is like a cactus.
Yeah.
So pretty.
He's living it up.
Anyways,
For
yes.
some reason, that page is labeled Mortarion.
Mortarion.
Not Mortarion.
That's amazing. So, Eamon, to answer your question, yes, it seems like there is. And we will do also lore shorts on this. We're going to be digging through this and kind of giving you the
Stay tuned.
Spark Notes version. People still know about Spark Notes? Is that a thing?
I
I feel like kids just use ChatGPT now.
Yeah, they just ask ChatGPT.
Wow.
They're like, what happens at the end of Old Yeller?
Can I?
And then ChatGPT is like, ethically, I cannot answer this question.
I feel like I'm going to ask ChatGPT for the Spark Notes version of something. I wonder how it would.
GPT will know what SparkNotes is.
Yeah,
It's old.
Yeah, even if the kids don't.
Kids. Do you think SparkNotes is still a website?
Yeah.
Or is it
it's
like-
gotta be.
I bet it is.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah.
And, it may
For
not
now.
be as big as
Right.
it was, like when we were in school, but it's got to be still around. Right?
Who's paying the bills on that? They don't get a lot of traffic. I can guarantee. They don't.
I bet they get enough, though.
They get no.
Sure, they keep the
All
lights
right,
on.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
so.
They probably get.
Maybe they've evolved. Maybe they're a new age technology. They pivoted.
Yeah.
And like we're just behind the times.
Well,
And
we're definitely behind the times.
SparkNotes is like really all the kids are using it. The kids are laughing at us.
Yeah,
We're like,
yeah.
well, you don't know SparkNotes actually makes movies now. You just watch a 5-minute video.
It's a TikTok channel now.
In 1-minute segments. Yeah, it's a TikTok.
Yeah.
Like Spark Notes, if you're watching, that one's for free. Thanks, Damon.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Okay, we have another one from Mark Edwards. Thank you, Mark Edwards. Do they have said the 10th will be less killy, but there are weapons that do 3d6 S12 attacks? Do you
Right.
think any 10th... Do you think that 10th is less lethal?
Oh, thank you.
Also, nice jackets.
Oh.
Cheers.
Yeah.
So, for some reason, I don't know why GW, the whole communication between the rules and the marketing is very strange. Because the things that they've chosen to show, we talked about this, like the Stompa, which is a flashy thing to show, but also, Mark, goes completely against the ethos that they're trying to present about the edition. And it's not an average weapon. So, I'll say that. The other thing is, I think we're going to say the same thing, but I'm curious. The killy stuff is still very killy.
Yeah.
And the lower end stuff has kind of fallen further. So the things have been stratified.
Yeah,
it feels
yeah.
like.
The average weapon is less lethal. Competitively, you will never see the average weapon.
Right.
That's the problem. Is like you make most things less lethal. Like if you go to the grocery store and most things are more expensive, but some things are cheaper, you're just gonna buy the cheaper things, right?
Yeah, definitely for competitive play.
So the fact that most things got more expensive at the grocery store, you can grumble about it, but you're not buying those things. You're buying the stuff that got cheaper.
Right.
So that's what happened here, is like they made most of the game less lethal, except the important stuff, the things you're going to get, which is more lethal.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing, which as we start to play games on the channel, I think you'll see, there are very powerful abilities. There are lots of rerolls, but the ability to stack these things is much diminished.
Oh,
and so that contributes to, I think, many interactions being less lethal. Many of your like average interactions, like you're saying, being less lethal because we're so used to when this unit activates, it gets this, and spends this strat, and a lot of that's gone. So again, it feels very intangible, but once we start rolling dice, I think that will become more clear. Thanks, Mark.
Okay. We have a question from
Ilanth.
Ilanth. Thank you. Thank you. Question from Ilanth. Thank you. The DG faction focus wasn't that great, but after seeing a lot of the index cards from last night and today, it looks a lot better. What are your thoughts on the new DG and what their role might be?
I like it. I like it. Well, Lindsay.
Yes.
Might be a time to dip into the Willow Font of Knowledge.
I
Shout out to
think
Willow,
so.
amazing community member who sent us a bunch of images from the GW site. And there's a lot of Death Guard in here. So let's go and pop it up. I know the first thing is Lord of Change, but we're not here to talk about Tzeentch. And let's start just moving through the slideshow. I know you want to talk about this one. Yeah.
They took away -1 damage and then gave it back, kind of. It is expensive. 2 command points is a full battle round of command points. I just want you to put that in perspective. You start with 0. This is all of your command point. This is all of your command points.
It's not even close.
For the battle round. All of them. It's a lot. It's -1 damage. We have questions. Is this no minimum? Doesn't list a minimum. Doesn't say anything about a minimum. And there's no section of the rules that says characteristics can't go below 1.
So this is one of those questions we were referring to where we're like,
Can you 0 out damage? Are we doing this? Can you?
Anthony in chat is saying there's no minimum, so damage 1 becomes damage 0. So that's
Pretty
one
saucy.
person kind of
Pretty saucy.
that's something for less lethal.
It's also not even infantry locked. It's anything.
Ooh.
You put this on Mortarion.
Mortarion. Speaking of which, I think we have Mortarion.
That big bad boy.
Oh, next one.
It's
Gonna be
well, just keep going.
one more. Oh,
Keep
oh,
going.
oh,
Oh. I did see him.
Look at all these ways.
If you have questions about any of those, let us know. Basically, we have all of these, so if you all have questions, we have them accessible. But they are just in one giant thing. So
He's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
Toughness 12.
Yeah.
So he's like a land raider.
Up to a 2-up save too now, which is nice.
He deserved it. He's got the Barbaros armor, Barbados armor.
Barbican's plate.
Yeah.
Barbecue, the barbecue plate.
Barbacoa.
Barbacoa
Yeah.
chicken plate.
The Avisan plate.
He's got a plate of barbacoa chicken.
Oh, now I want
true.
Chipotle.
Yeah, so he's toughness 12. It's very tough. 2-up save, 16 wounds.
And kept his feeling pain.
And
5
kept,
up.
that's important.
Did not expect that.
That's important because a lot of people were expecting DG to either keep a -1 damage or a feel no pain. Sorry, dude. But he did. So you give him the -1 damage. I think that is the most efficient way to spend those 2 command points, because that's a lot. 2 command points is a lot.
Yeah, you're going to want this on a big chunky unit like him.
And he slaps. I mean, like, the big models do big model things. I just have concerns with las cannons on the loose. I think he can be hidden because he's not towering, which is something probably maybe we should have addressed from the core rules. You get essentially obscuring from ruins unless you are towering,
Right.
which is for the very large stuff.
But now towering goes both ways. So they can always be shot and they can see over terrain to shoot you.
Which is good.
Which is good.
They needed that.
Yeah.
But also bad.
Yeah, we're
Because
curious.
they might just become the dominant force. They might just be like, oh,
Right. Imagine everything the sun touches, the light touches is yours. Like, that's a little scary.
that's pretty exciting.
But again, we'll play it and we'll find out together. I like his buffs. I like that he can give cover within 6 inches.
That's cool.
Which is pretty compelling if you're going to want to come up with infantry in the middle. So I think he's cool.
I think you're gonna deep strike him. Does he have the deep strike keyword
He does not.
on the right under abilities?
Deadly
Core?
Demise, Feel No Pain.
Ooh.
So
So you could put him in reserves.
could put him in reserves.
Feels less good.
Oh, he
than
only
full
moves
deep
10 now.
Yes, most moves in the game also went down. It's worth noting. Ranges went down, moves went down, which was, I'm glad. It's something when we went from 8th to 9th, they made the board smaller and they didn't change any of the moves or ranges. And I was like, oh, range is not relevant anymore.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're bringing down moves and ranges. I think it's going to be painful for some people who feel it more than others. There are some factions where it didn't come down as much. I think that's good. They're stratifying and giving identities to factions again.
Yeah.
I think that's great design space. But I think people like Mortarion are going to struggle with that. People like Death Guard who are like, oh, we're the slow faction.
Yeah.
Right. Now we feel it.
My concern with that is that we end up kind of like we did here, where it's with 9th edition, then you take a lot of Terminators because they can deep strike. And now, like, where's the Plague Marines? Where are my boys at? You know?
Where my boys at?
So, we'll see. So, this doesn't super change my thoughts on Death Guard. I like Morty, so that's cool because he's a cool model. But I'm not super enthused by it. But I will say, I do like the fight first on the Noxious Blight spawn. And that's one of the things we were saying
nice.
is there's still a lot to be seen as far as what are the support characters for DG and what can they do for us. And the fight first, it's very nice.
It's nice. It's very nice. So shooting, as we've said, largely less lethal, except when it's not, it's more lethal. The same thing I think happened with combat, where like you look at a Mortarion and you're like, he kills everything.
Yeah.
There's nothing this model doesn't kill.
Right. Yeah.
He's gonna karate chop you in half, and then puke on your dead body. Like that's his jam.
Yep.
What does Fight First really do against these menaces? Like you're gonna, and then he's gonna be like -1 damage and feel no pain, and then he doesn't care, right? Like I think Fight First is cool, but we have to see it in action. Where like, when is this relevant? When does it matter? If the lethality on average went down, you're gonna have more models left after they fight, and then you'll fight them back. So there's a lot I want to see just on the table. There's so much of like, oh, I just need to play some games.
Yep.
You know?
We just need to roll dice and try stuff. So, thanks, Alianth. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. They keep coming in. Okay, this one is from Christos.
Hello.
Margarito Polos.
Hey.
Polos. Thank you so much, Christos. Currently building my Grey Knights. The new Terminators are going to be my Paladin unit. Adrian, how do you feel for GSC being undead zombies?
I am so excited. As I mentioned, it was probably the only faction that I was truly concerned about going into the new edition, because how could they possibly keep their flavor?
How could they?
How could they? Well, I think they did a great job. They appear to have gotten rid of the way that blips worked previously, which is good. Normalize that, which is awesome. This new ability very flavorful. You know, there's just always more of them. They're coming up from the tunnels. They're swarming. So I think it matches thematically. I think it's very, very strong game-wise. But I also like that there is counterplay, right? Your opponent basically always has a turn to go and get rid of the markers or whatever. And so if your opponent has like fast units, if you're like playing Eldar with little Vipers or whatever, and you're able to kind of zip out and kind of get rid of these markers, then you'll keep them at bay. And so if you want to hedge that as a GSC player, you're going to have to place them very conservatively, way in the back, in which case they're slower to get in. So I like it. I think I'm really excited about it, honestly. I think it's awesome.
Are you saying they're going back to be the Thinkins Man army?
The Tinkin Man. Oh, look, they were such a Tinkin Man's army last edition. I couldn't even take them to tournaments.
So me with my gorilla brain, I can't just unga bunga my GSC in?
Would not recommend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they come back though.
Yeah.
I feel like
yeah.
I could get away with it, right?
You can. You're making this really difficult not to say offensively. If you want to play it simply, you have to also be conservative. And that's, I think, the bigger problem.
I can't do that. No,
you're
I
good
just
at
want to
simple.
charge them.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to go in. I want big numbers.
Might I recommend the actual undead zombies, the Death Guard,
Oh.
or perhaps World Eaters?
Oh, yeah. I'll be checking out World Eaters.
Yeah, for sure.
That's going to be me. Or Knights.
Knights.
I really want to play Knights.
No!
I can see everything.
So scared. Oh my gosh. Thanks, Christos.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. We've got a question here from Bronco Fun.
Oh.
Are you going to any events this year?
Yes.
No, none of them. Sorry.
Done? You're done with events, huh?
Wait, no. Yeah.
There it goes.
Yeah, we're going definitely to Nova.
Yeah.
You'll see us there.
Definitely SoCal.
Definitely SoCal. LVO is technically, are we counting that as this year? It's not this calendar year.
this season.
But it's this.
School year. No, it's not the school year.
No, it's this.
Well, we're in summer.
Well, we're in
so,
summer.
Yeah. Kids these days. Those are the main ones we have lined up for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely going to go to a lot of smaller events. There's even one in a few weeks, just like the little RTT.
Oh.
It's on a Sunday, which is nice. So
Sunday,
take the day off.
Sunday.
Wouldn't dream of not, streaming. So I'm sure we'll go to a lot of smaller events, especially since we're just going to be excited to play and roll dice.
Yeah.
Those are the big ones, yeah?
Yeah.
Thanks, Bronco.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, this next one is from Amsterdam.
Oh,
Thank
what's
you,
up, Amsterdam?
Amsterdam. Hey, Titans, rip my fell blade. Adrian, have you seen the rules for the giant squigoth? Thoughts? And Lindsay, what was the flower/skull coaster game called?
Wait, Amsterdam, have you seen the rules for the Giant Squiggle?
I haven't seen it at all.
I think this is a bait. I think you're getting jebaited, Adrian.
Yeah, that's a bait right there.
This is a very clear
I'm
debate.
gonna get taken out by a Vindicare assassin.
Lindsay, what's the game? What,
It's called Skull.
Really?
Skull, yeah.
It's called.
It was
Oh, it's like
Skull.
SKUL or 2 L's?
No, I think it's 2 L's.
Skull.
Yeah, it's just Skull.
Yeah, it's not a
Skull.
startup. Okay.
No,
That'd be
look,
SKLL.
that game came out in a time of like that was cool, that was hip. There was probably like an umlaut and it was Skul.
Yeah.
Let's play Skul.
Oh, Will is saying that the Squigoth was in a Warcom article today.
What?
So it was not a debate.
It's happening live. It's happening live.
We'll do it live.
There we go. Download the new core rules for free. Well, there you go.
You're telling me they made this in this separately numbered packet of pages a PDF that I can download
Right.
with those page numbers?
Wait, what article would this be in? Not in the Psychophage article. It's not in the Titans article.
It's in Skul.
Is it in the...
I don't know.
The Squig is in today's faction reveal.
Action reveal.
What?
It's in the Titan faction focus.
What?
Oh, okay, that makes no sense.
I'll be honest. I saw it was Titans. I didn't click on it.
You weren't excited to play a Warhound Titan,
I know.
Adrian?
But like the Warlord Titan has 100 wounds. So, like that's cool. But most of us,
But you can't play a Warlord.
I know.
That's not.
All right, let's see. Your games from Squigoth. Here
You
we go.
can play a Warhound.
100%. Toughness 13. 30 wounds. Less than it has today.
Okay, but it's toughness 13, Adrian. That's more than a Land Raider.
Deadly Demise 2d6.
Great.
Firing,
Awesome.
Firing deck 20.
Awesome.
And it's got Walking Bastion, so you can you don't suffer the minus for shooting at things in combat with you. You
Great.
can walk over stuff.
Yeah.
Save is a 3+ and no invuln. It makes me sad.
But 3-up save is great for a Squiggoth. It had a 4 before, didn't it?
No, so last edition it finally went to a 3. But it needs an invuln or a feel no pain. Like, let's be honest.
Well, maybe you give it an invuln with like a little KFF or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's possible.
I haven't read the orc rules. I don't know.
There used to be, so back in the day.
You used to be able to put a KFF in it.
Well, here's the thing. You used to, well, I think last edition it worked, but before that, it was like technically KFFs only affected
Vehicles, and it was a monster.
Oh no, it's if you're inside of a vehicle,
Right.
it gives the invuln save.
Right.
It's not a vehicle,
It's
it's
a
a
monster,
monster.
yeah.
So every tournament I'd be like, hey, Mr. T.O., can I please use my Squiggoth and do this thing? And they're like,
no.
no, they're like, it's fine because he sucks. And I'd be like, thank you, sir.
And you have to beg for forgiveness for even asking this question. No.
Exactly. So let's take a look. We've got the cannon, which looks not
Is
good.
it a super killer cannon?
No. Oh God, it does have a super cannon.
Yes.
Yes!
Yes!
Oh my gosh! All right, apologize for everyone who saw us use that model last night. It's actually apparently still legal. That's so weird. I don't think they're selling it anymore though.
No.
So it comes with a cannon and a super cannon. The super cannon is exactly the same, except for higher strength. Melee, here we go. We've got the strike and the sweep. Strike has lance, and it's
Love it.
6 attacks, strength 14, AP 3, for 12 damage.
What?
Yes!
That's amazing.
That's actually amazing.
Wow.
14 with lance.
12 damage.
And then the sweep is good too. It's 18 3 damage attacks. Okay. It's all
Yep.
going to come down to points, as always.
I mean, but like I was saying with Mortarion, the big stuff hits so hard that nothing survives. Like, this is insane.
6 12 damage attacks.
That wounds everything on 2s in the whole game.
I'm so excited.
There's nothing toughness 14, right? This was toughness 13. That's the biggest I think we've seen.
Maybe the Warlord in the rest of this article.
Nah, that's okay. I don't
you,
need to.
Warlord.
I don't need to see that.
Well, thanks, Hamsterman. That was a nice surprise.
That was cool.
Thank you.
You brought me a surprise
This
today.
could do 72 damage in combat to Warlord Titan.
Yes. It can do more because it has exploding 6s, like all good orcs. So it could do 144.
We have me excited.
So thank you, Amsterdam. This next question is from Chronal Panic.
Hey,
What's
hey.
that?
Thank you. Evening Kings. Adrian, be honest. Have you seen the Doomstalker datasheet, and how excited does it make you?
I will be
Is
honest.
this another debate?
I have not. I actually have not.
Is this? Are we being debated once
Even
a
if it's been
game?
revealed, I have not seen it.
This wasn't in because they did the Doomsday arc in the Necron faction.
The
focus.
GW one. And then they played the Combat Patrol. And then I know yesterday Goat Boy played. It was Chaos. We saw Chaos, Death
Who's
Guard.
Goat Boy.
You know Goat
I've heard
Boy?
this name before.
Thomas Reed.
But why? Oh, is he's at Kansas City Open? Is that why Goat Boy was featured?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Nick Nadavati played too. Like, there's a few
Did he
of
play
them.
Necrons?
No, I don't think so.
I think you're debating us, Colonel Panic, and I will not fall for this debate.
Sorry, Colonel Panic.
I have seen no data sheets for any units.
Thank you for your support.
Thank
Appreciate
you. Someone says this is a bait. I'm desperate for Necron news.
it.
So,
I
Call
literally
shot.
don't know it.
okay.
If I
Okay.
could say.
So this next question is from Brynv.
Ooh.
Thank
Hey.
you, Brynv. Friendly models can move over each other freely now? If true, would an easy way to charge B2B?
Base to base.
Would an easy way to charge B2B would be to start measuring from the furthest back model?
Furthest back model. So it depends what your goal is, right? It depends if you're like trying to get as much movement as you can, or if you're trying to block yourself up to not get based, right? Oh, I see. It's more about like where you can land.
Right.
So, and that's where the ordering will matter. And it depends on your goal. Are you trying to move to an objective? Are you trying to? I hate that. I hate it. I'm sorry, but it's a thing. Are you trying to block off the rest of them so that you don't
All
get
I think
based?
about in this ordering is like I want these weapons in,
Yeah.
and these are lower priority weapons that I also want in. Every time I charge, that's
And
how I
I'm so
think.
proud of you for that.
That's all I want. I'm just like because and we didn't talk about consolidate. I don't know how we missed this.
yeah.
When you consolidate,
Yeah.
you can consolidate if you're still in combat towards the unit you're in combat with,
Mm-hmm.
or if you're not in combat anymore, either the closest enemy unit
Yeah.
or the nearest objective. You can consolidate towards objectives.
Yeah. I think
So my goal is to wipe you and then consolidate onto the objective.
but you only can do the consolidate if you actually reach the objective, I believe.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
No, come.
Yep. Consolidate. Yep. Every model that moves must end closer to the closest enemy model and in base-to-base contact with an enemy model possible. Must end in coherency. Okay.
Yep.
So if you can't do that, if you've wiped everyone,
Yep.
if not possible, each model can move towards the closest objective marker, but this must result in the unit being within range of it and in coherency. So again, it kind of makes it more complicated.
Why did they try to give me a nice thing, but actually it was a slap in the
Right?
face?
And if none of the above are possible, no consolidation at all.
Oh, you just
You just sit there. You're just like, ah!
dance party? Just have a
party.
dance party?
Yeah, it's gonna be weird stuff. Yes, and we will certainly do some tactics and obviously battle reports. Where we're gonna kind of be figuring out what to do when, Bryn. So stay tuned for that. Maybe even tomorrow.
Oh,
We might do some consolidating in that game.
could be.
Could be.
Maybe.
Thanks, Bryn.
Thank you.
Thank you. This next question is from the Chris DV. Thank you, the Chris. Holy fun! We can now gift subs via the iPhone app.
Whoa!
Can, but it will charge you more.
Oh yeah, watch out.
So keep that in mind.
Apple does Apple.
Apple takes
Apple
their
do.
cut. They takes their cut on top of everybody else's cut.
Yeah.
So it literally just costs more to do anything with YouTube on an Apple device.
Yeah, and we get no part of that.
That's just Apple
Extra
money.
surcharge goes to Apple, and then it goes down to the usual stuff where Mr. Google takes theirs, and then we get the scraps.
That's actually you flaunting your status, as is your right as an Apple user. Is like, well, I just have extra money to give to Apple, so I will.
Thank you, Chris.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. This next question is from Benzie F. Thank you, Benzie. Disembarkation after transport comes from reinforcements?
No.
Wording seems to support it.
Let's take a look.
No, you don't. Okay, if what you're trying to do is put things in reserve and then just randomly get out of a transport, definitely not.
I think it's more. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not sure what they want to get to here.
Transports. Disembark. A unit from your army starts your movement phase embarked in a transport. It can disembark in that movement phase. When they disembark from a transport, blah, 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 blah. You count as having made a normal move. You can't move further. Can't declare a charge. Can otherwise act normally. Units cannot disembark from transport that either advanced or fell back. Nope, nothing about reinforcements.
Comes from reinforcements.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm not totally following.
Nope, you were embarked, and then you got out. That's it. It's like it's been, except you can just, out of all transports, get out after they move. You can't move or charge after that. Unless they have assault ramp, and then you can charge after.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't advance the transport and get out, ever.
Right. The only time this kind of thing that you're mentioning has come to play in the past is drop pods. Because like drop pod comes down, they get out,
Right.
and that has created conflict.
Or like in the past, the monolith, you could, it's not really disembarking. It's kind of disembarking. You come in.
Oh yeah. No, it's not disembarking at all. They're
You
actually
just come in from reserve.
They're in strategic,
near it.
and then they can be placed.
Right.
So that one is also definitely reinforcements. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful. Thanks, Benzie.
Oh, they're asking if you can disembark from a transport after the transport comes in from reinforcements. No.
Because we're in the reinforcement step.
Yeah, reinforcement is a separate step from movement. You move, and then you reinforce.
Yeah,
So that you missed your chance.
that is true.
Just like chaplains couldn't. You disembark, and then the command phase already happens. You couldn't chaplain. Thanks,
Yeah,
Benzie.
that is true.
Thank you. This next question is from Aaron. Aaron
We know this
Thank
guy.
you, Aaron. Can we talk about the Grim After Dark Boys Adrian head nod video? I think we need to see more revenge videos made or maybe a live stream grudge match.
Did you?
I actually haven't seen this.
So I saw a comment on the video that we put out.
Yeah.
With the interview,
Yeah.
and the comment said somebody should take a supercut of all of the shots of Adrian nodding his head.
Yeah.
And I believe that that's what they've done.
Oh my god, I need to see this. This sounds amazing. It's so like awkward doing interviews when it's like like you want to show the other person's face, aka my face, when they're speaking. But then I never know what to do. And
I think you do a normal social cue, which is like when you're talking to somebody,
yeah.
you're like acknowledging that you're listening and hearing what they're saying. That's normal. It's just weird when you see 30 minutes of it and you're not involved.
Yeah.
That's that's the thing that outsiders don't understand.
Right.
Is we were acting like humans talking to another human.
Right.
But what you wanted was a fake human
Right.
doing fake human video stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're real people.
Which was also funny because there was like one or two, not many, that were like, I don't like how you pretended to be in the same room as him. And I was like, the laptop's right there.
You can see.
We're not tricking you.
Maybe,
I mean, if you were tricked, I guess that's on you.
Maybe it's the book toss bit in the beginning with Box.
Yeah, could be, I guess.
Which, like,
I don't know.
do you not TikTok? That's like a whole thing now these days.
Yeah. I heard SparkNotes is on there, so check it out. Thanks, Aaron. I'll check it out. The Grim After Dark guys are friends of ours, so I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
Thank you. This next question is from Henrik. Thank you, Henrik. Please show some Tau art. Thanks for all the amazing content.
Thanks, Henrik. Appreciate it. Let's take a look.
Do you want model art or? Oh, that's cool.
Ooh,
It's like in it.
Let's take a look. Got some Tau.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's like the whole bottom of the page is Tau people. Look at how
Oh.
thin the head of that aircast is.
They're so
On the right,
teeny.
Yeah.
I think this is new.
This is definitely new
I
art.
don't recognize this. This guy's. What is this?
It's
like
a bonding knife. Oh, no, that's an antenna on his head?
No, this is a huge tank.
Oh, that
carrying.
thing. Yeah, I don't know. But
big
behind him
canister.
is a cool ethereal. Look at that cool
That is
ethereal.
pretty cool.
Oh.
Oh, fancy.
And then they just have model shots after that. It's just the models.
Yeah.
You've seen these before.
All the combat patrol stuff in here appears to be the current boxes, so nothing new there.
And that's actually it. They get 2 pages, and that's, well, you know, they're Tau. That's all they deserve.
Wow. Hurtful.
Wow.
Got him.
Hurtful.
Wow.
Most of the art is Imperial. You should have expected that. Everybody who's been in this hobby knows most of the art is of, like, heresy events.
True.
Well,
But
thank
thank you.
you. Thank you. This next question is from Supplied Clay.
Hey.
Thank you, Supplied Clay. I haven't seen as if the unit attached gets the psyker or character keyword. They don't normally have it for roles against them, such as Custode Termi.
They do.
So this was another question we had of, like, nowhere does it describe how keywords work when you mush units together. It just describes how you mush units together.
Yeah.
So we're going to act under the assumption that the keywords are all shared amongst the unit. Otherwise, all these rules do literally nothing.
Yep.
Where it's like, well, if you target a psyker, do a thing. Or if you target a character, do a thing. Well, if they're in a unit, you're not targeting the character, you're targeting the unit. And if the keywords aren't shared, then that rule almost never does literally anything. So I think we've pretty safely assumed all the keywords get mushed together, but again, there's no section in the rules on that.
Yeah. Which, again, today they revealed the psychophage, and there's a little addendum about getting devastating wounds against the psyker unit.
Right.
And when you realize that the keywords get combined, it becomes way better. It's way better.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah. Psychers beware.
Yeah.
There's people who hate psychers in the world.
Turns
and they
out.
really hate you and your friends.
Which is another thing we mentioned in the video today is psychic is a big change. Yes, the face is gone, but that's not even the most important thing. Just the existence of psychic like weapons and that keyword opens up way more possibilities.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Force Swords have this psychic keyword. So you could have things like a Feel No Pain against psychic, which is now a Feel No Pain against the weapons rather than like mortals. And that's super interesting.
Pretty saucy.
So it's cool.
It is cool.
Yeah. Thanks, Applied Clay. Good question.
Good name.
This next question is from Siege Roots. Thank you, Siege Roots. Could never find the Volkite for my Contemptor, but that solved itself. New Defender fights first, and Heroic Intervention being a unit strat really changes the combat dynamic.
It does.
Fundamentally different. It's going to throw us off, but it's going to be fun to kind of learn the whole thing. The intervention is just like such a huge thing.
It's cool. I think it's big for objective contesting. Of like you can hang out nearby and then swoop in. I'm excited to see how all this plays out.
Yeah.
I'm envisioning a lot of ongoing combats. seeing the combat profiles that we've seen,
Yeah.
I think we're going to end up with dogpile scrums of like,
Yeah.
well, now that they're in combat, I'm going to charge in, and then on your turn, you're going to charge in, and then we just keep, it becomes like a rugby match on top of the objective.
Oh, 100%.
It's going to be cool.
Thanks, Idrits.
Real quick, I just want to take a quick break from Super Chats and thank Ian Burke for gifting a membership.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you, Ian.
much. Yes. And now, this next question is from Trey Dudley.
What's up, Trey?
Hey.
Thank you, Trey. Overwatch strat specifies unmod 6s to
Right.
hit. Crit hits on page 21 are critical hit. Unmodified hit roll of 6, always successful. If a unit crit hits on a 5+, does a roll of 5 in Overwatch hit or not?
Yeah, I had this come up recently, and the thing that I decided at the time was it does not actually technically, because as you say, Overwatch specifies unmodified 6s to hit, and then it says technically critical hit. Let me see. It's actually written. The nuance is weird.
Questions like this make me wonder why they took that section out of the book.
Right.
Like, this used to be cut and dry,
Right.
and now we have to figure it out.
Critical hit. Unmodified hit roll of 6. Always successful. So, and then the critical hit on 5
Yeah.
would mean that 5s are critical hits, but they're not actually 6s. Right?
So the strat says an unmodified hit roll of 6 is required to score a hit, irrespective of the attacking weapon's ballistic skill or any modifiers. I would go with Fire Overwatch takes precedence, and you need 6s.
That is my understanding as well. Is they are criticals, but they're not 6s. Is the thing.
Yeah, they're not unmodified hit
Doesn't
rolls.
change that fact. Obviously, we could easily be wrong, but that's how I would play it
I
in the
mean,
meantime.
yeah, they'll need an FAQ for some of these edge cases. But I would go with 6s only.
Because it's interesting that because the solution would have just been said Overwatch, you only hit on critical hits.
That might be too good, though.
Why? No, I'm not saying too
There's
good.
units that could crit on...
That's what I'm saying. If the intention was to be able to do this, that's what they would have said. Instead, they said specifically, like they have a language for that that they could have used. They chose not to.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Great question, Trey.
Thank you. Thank you. This next question is from Oh Hi Emma.
Oh, hi,
Thank
Emma.
you, Oh Hi Emma. Which faction do you think will feel most limited by being stuck with only the index detachment rule before more their codex? Orcs is never beaten.
Oh, yeah. All right, how do we say Death Guard at once? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Death Guard. Yeah, they kind of don't have one.
Sucks,
I
man.
really think about it.
I feel like it's them. I don't know. Like, so their detachment ability is basically sticky obsec, sticky everything.
Sticky, if they hold an objective, it's theirs until you take it. But also, it's gross now.
Oh yeah.
That's
Until
how they
someone else takes it.
justified it. They justified it as being like, well, but it's also gross.
Yeah.
See, this army rule is a non-rule and another non-rule put together.
Yeah, it really is.
Think about it that way.
That feels the most sad, to be honest. Trying to think of any others. It's not orcs. It's not Tau.
We have to see it on the
Springs.
table, but Blood Angels was not impressive to me.
Yeah.
+1 strength and attack when you charge. It's much worse than +1 to wound in the first round of combat, no matter what.
That's their detachment roll?
That's their...
Right, because they get Oath of Moment,
Right.
and then they get that instead of Codex, Doctrines.
Right.
Yeah, that seems not great either.
It seems like a step down,
Yeah.
but +1 attack is good. So maybe... I don't know.
It seems better than Sticky Opposite.
Oh, definitely. We're not... Like, Death Guard won the competition of worst detachment rule. Hands down. Nobody even competes with them on that.
Yeah, I think so.
But, like... That was another one where I was kind of like,
yeah.
a little disappointed.
That one's also tough because it's so clearly worse than what they had. Mm-hmm. Mostly. The +1 attack is nice because you don't need like your super doctrine anymore.
Right.
It's gone. But it's rough when you can directly compare and say, this one is just worse.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
yeah.
people will find ways to make it work. Death Guard.
That is Death Guard.
Thank you. Thank you. This next question is from Dro. 250.
What's up,
Thank
Dro?
you, Dro. How do you think GW will handle chapter tactics for Codex compliant Marines? I'm tired of my Raven Guard being boring.
I know.
We have some news for you, Dro.
They're going to be more boring.
They aren't.
I mean, the way what I would look for in the future, if you wanted to make like a Raven Guard army interesting in 10th edition, would be like, do they come out with a like stealth detachment or a lightning strike detachment? And it's not Raven Guard, because I don't know that they're going to be doing that again, but it'll be like in the theme of it. And you know, we'll also need to see what does Shrike do, for example. So you can select Shrike. If you do, you can't take anyone else. Like you can't take Gilman. And he will do Raven Guard things and maybe attach to a squad and give them Raven Guard things. But by and large, that's pretty much it.
He's their only named character, right?
Yeah, unfortunately. That's another reason that Ultramarines kind of have it nice. Because each
like,
character will
so
be
many.
like, you're going to do Ultramarine stuff. And you're like, well, this actually feels like Ultramarines. Everyone else.
Well, I mean, I don't know if this is how you view it, but Space Marines default to me as Ultramarines. Like, I kind of view Oath of Moment as an Ultramarine rule.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
It feels very Ultramarine-y. I don't know. Maybe it's because Gilliman doubles it up, but like, to me, Space Marines default to Ultramarines. And that's what they've been trying to do for a long time. Is like, when you think Space Marines, you think Ultras, but it does suck for everybody else. For
really
Raven
does.
Guard, for Fists, like, they have no identity now.
I mean, look, we're just excited to be included.
We're just happy to be here.
Like, we basically have the same rules as Ultramarines, and that's a big step up.
That's a huge improvement.
So, I'm speaking from the bottom of the barrel that's even lower than Raven Guard. I'm pretty happy.
We might not have Gilliman, but at least we're here.
I know, right? And they do have two named characters. So they have Lysander, and then they have the Chin.
Torgaren.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll see. I think some of the stuff is interesting. So like Assault Doctrine being advanced in charge, that feels very cool and Raven Guardy. So we're just gonna have to play around with the list design at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It is gonna be relatively vanilla.
Thanks, Dro.
Good question.
Yeah, thank you, Dro. This next question is from Cole Nichols. Thank you, Cole. Can I get you two to tell us the point cost on the Dominus Knights, Valiant / Castellan?
No.
Unfortunately not.
No, super no. Definitely
I
not.
like, maybe with another chat we'll think about it.
This is a weird debate, right? Because this was a very honest debate. Of
Yeah,
like,
it's very straightforward, yeah.
You know what, Cole? Just for that, I'm gonna.
like I kind of
Just like
expected.
throwing out numbers.
Yeah, you just like say it.
I kind of expected a please in there because it was so openly like, can you just tell me this? What is it? No, we signed NDAs, Cole. We can't just tell you non-public information. That's not.
Sorry.
It would cost us so much for one bit.
We'll tell you as soon as we can.
Yeah.
The moment we can.
We'll let you know. We're gonna call you out, Cole.
Yeah, we're gonna be Cole.
Call you on the phone. Be like, hey, Cole, here's the points. And then just hang up.
Yeah, just super chat us your number and your address.
And your credit card number and social security number, mother's maiden name.
That's a good. You know, a lot of people don't think to get that information.
Oh,
when
you
you're
need
stealing
it.
someone's identity.
Yeah, because you got to recover all their accounts.
Exactly.
That'll cover the reputation cost of the NDA. It's this whole person's identity.
Thanks, Cole. Appreciate the support.
Yes, thank you. This next question is from Aaron Wish. Oh yeah, we've already gotten a question from Aaron
Hello
Wish.
again.
Oh, thank you
Hello.
again, Aaron. Are squad sizes variable, like 3 to 6 or 5 to 10, or are they set, e.g. 5/10/10 or 3/6?
So this is as of yet unrevealed because that's also usually included in the points. But there are interesting things happening with squad sizes in here, which I actually realized we didn't mention. So coherency now. You only need double coherency if you go over 6 models, which is, thank goodness.
They needed that.
Because there's a bunch of kits that come in 3s. You know, like, does anybody even know where their 6th Blade Guard is? I don't. You know, there's
We
units
turned him
like
into
that.
a captain, I think.
We might have to.
Or a lieutenant. We turned him into something else.
Right. So there's things like that that just feel like a nice quality of life fix.
Yeah.
So if I was betting on this stuff, it feels like it's going to be more like what's in the box.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Yeah,
but that's all we can say for now.
That's what they're trying to do, right? They're trying to get you to play what's in the box.
Yeah, exactly.
They've been doing it for years. It's a new edition, a new opportunity for them to force you to play what's in the box.
It's kind of shocking that it's taken this long to come to that. Like, what a concept. What if they just played what came in the box?
I know, and it's kind of crazy that it is so upsetting to wargamers that they can't do all their jank nonsense. But like, the reason it took so long is they knew that this would upset people, so they slowly transitioned us into play what's in the box, please. Yeah. We sell it as a box, just play the box.
Yeah, you're entrenched in it. It's apparently not everyone's a hoarder with all their bits. Just got to keep every single one of your bits.
I think it's healthy to get away from that.
It is. In the long run, it's good. From the hoarding?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. What if 11th edition, they go back, though? I'm like,
no. You'll be trapped in that line of thinking forever, Adrian.
I know.
Just let go.
I know.
Just let it go.
Never.
You have a 3D printer. You can make the bits again. You can make more bits. Just let them go.
No, I'm ready. I'm ready for 12th edition.
This one's for you, Mel.
Wait, you like skipped.
Yeah. Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it.
Thank
Good
you.
seeing you recently, too, by the way.
This next question is from Stephen Whittam.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you, Stephen. Do you think they purged heresy the day before 10th rules came out to bury the bad news cycle and good news cycles? Hashtag never forgive. Hashtag my armor is contempt.
Oh, this man is upset.
That's beautiful. I like that.
This man is angry.
My armor contempt. Honestly, perfectly honestly, I don't know about yesterday from today, but they certainly have spaced it out, right? Yeah. Over the last few weeks, there's been several announcements of like kits going out of production and things like that, and like, yeah, I think they knew that it would just make so many people mad. Yep. They've been spacing it out, so yeah, I think so, frankly.
I love how we got backlash on our interview with Stu, as if we had any control or even knowledge that this was happening. It's like these two things happen on the same day, and then people rage at us because we interviewed GW, and it's like,
you.
Okay,
that was really unfortunate.
All right, I mean, okay, you know what? I'll take the blame. I killed Forge World. You can blame me.
I heard you told them to do it.
I told them I went to GW last year and I said, guys, this whole Forge World thing, you've been struggling with it for so long. Have you considered just deleting it?
But I play Custodes, so maybe leave those.
That's why
the evidence is pretty shocking there. Same.
And they knew we had a discussion about 10th. I was like, guys, I think I might want to play Knights in 10th.
Yeah.
Can I keep them too?
Yeah.
And they were like, you got it, dude. Knights and Custodes, we're getting rid of everything else. That's what happened.
Oh my gosh.
So yes, you can blame me, but not Titans, just me. It was my decision.
It was such like a watermark. Anyways, it's such a cool thing. Like GW has basically never done this. Like let us interview them, and then it gets released on the same day at that, and everyone's just like furious. Not everyone. It's actually received relatively.
I just don't understand why. Like what goes through your head that you backlash at us.
Yeah,
but like, how is this our fault?
We're on your side. We're just here to roll the dice and talk about the things.
Even if you think like we should have reported on it, it takes time to make videos.
Wait, hold on. We did a whole battle report on it the same day. The Island of Lost Toys exists. If you want to see us complain about it for 3 hours, check it out. So, anyways.
Oh, thanks, Steven.
Appreciate it. It'll be all right.
You'll make it.
Thank you, Steven. This next question is from Kevin Montgomery. Thank
What's up,
you, Kevin. Hey, fellas. I was very interested to know Bridger's thoughts on the way they have designed the martial katas for Custodes. Big fan. Cheers.
Thank you.
This was this in?
This was the reveal like a week ago.
Okay.
The three stances.
The three things you pick at the start of the combat phase.
Yeah.
Yes.
You were out at the time, so
I was.
Not everyone has heard your take on it.
I think that those rules are bland, but that you have to see data sheets for context of like, okay, exploding sixes, auto wounding on sixes, or fight first, I think is the third one.
It's -1 to hit and melee.
Oh, -1 to hit.
That's what.
Yeah.
Which you actually didn't love, right?
I think it's unlikely that you'll pick that one.
Huh.
Unless you're in a full combat scenario where like you're all combat and they're all combat.
Right.
Like in 9th edition, how many ongoing combats are there? Not many. Maybe that changes in 10th. There's a lot of ongoing combats. -1 to hit matters. But often in 40k, you want to hit them so hard they can't hit you back. So you don't need the defensive buffs if you just murder them. So I often find that exploding 6s would be the way to go. It's universally good. It's just more hits against everything.
Yeah.
If you particularly need to wound a very tough vehicle, then maybe auto wounding on 6s is good. But Custodes have historically been known for high strength, so I don't see that as being amazing. So all that to say, I think it's kind of bland. You're just going to pick exploding 6s almost every time. And it's not exciting or thematic, in my opinion.
I mean, I guess if you're not going to be striking first, then maybe you pop the -1 to try to survive. If there's something that's actually a threat to you.
Yeah. I'm sure there are times where you need the other two, but there's a very clear default of exploding 6s, and none of them are fun. I wouldn't describe them as like...
6 is the most fun. I despise lethal hits. It is a strong ability that is not interesting for me.
It's very not interesting.
It's just like, cool, I get to roll less dice?
Yeah.
What did I come here for?
Like, maybe they could have given us precision conditionally, or... I don't know. I don't know what they could have given, but it just... The whole army rule being like, hey, or detachment rule, I guess I should say, being like, hey, in combat, you're marginally better in one of 3 ways. You're like marginally better. I wanted it to be like, pick a guy, he's so awesome that your opponent's going to be confused how you're allowed to do that.
One guy?
You pick
so
a guy.
it's like a break dance circle, everyone like steps back and he's like, starts like tutting on him?
Yes, that's Custodes. That exactly. Like, pick a guy, double his attacks.
Yes, that's cool. That's cool.
That would be cool,
I like this.
right?
You should write the next one.
I know. That's why I got rid of Forge World. So no, it just doesn't excite me. It doesn't seem exceptionally powerful. It also doesn't seem flavorful or fun. It's just a rule. It's a rule. Whereas Death Guard didn't get a rule. So like, I shouldn't complain.
That's fair. That's fair. Remember, there's always Death Guard.
There's always somebody lower on the totem pole unless you're Death Guard. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you, thank you. So Stephen Whittam is back. Real quick, just says, I'm not mad at your interview. I'm mad at you, W.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
fair.
we know. Yeah, to
That's
be
fair.
clear, we were not...
It wasn't about you.
We're not heckling you.
Yeah.
We're just heckling the audience at large.
Yeah, we're heckling the hecklers, like, which is something you're not supposed to do when you're on a stage. But they're not here right now.
No, comedians do it all the time.
That's true, actually.
And I find that we are comedians, Adrian.
Oh, yeah?
I think that's our profession.
That's true.
We are entertainers of the comedic variety.
Okay.
Whether you're laughing with us or at us, we are comedians.
You are laughing. So I appreciate it, Steven. Yeah, again, not directed at you.
Yes, thank you, thank you. This next question is from Trey Dudley. Thank you, Trey. If Overwatch overrides auto hits and requires unmodified 6s, can torrent weapons hit in Overwatch?
That's an interesting category.
Yes.
6 is auto hit.
I mean, this is like rules as intended territory that we're getting into. Because again, there's no section that outlines this.
Yeah.
But certainly torrent weapons are intended to hit in Overwatch. I can't see a world where...
So yes, I agree with that. But again, that's the argument that Trey's making, is if we agree with that, then certainly we must agree that the intent is that critical hits would also work. Which is sound logic, in my opinion.
You can't apply logic to intent. Like, that's rules as written. Like, you can apply logic to rules as written. You can't... Intent is like, this is the way it's been always, and this is the way they've portrayed it.
Yeah.
That I think it should work this way, is like rules as intended.
Right.
And I think the intent is that torrent works in Overwatch. And it's unclear to me the intent of critical, like 5-spin criticals in Overwatch, which is why we tried to go to rules as written. But again, they just need an FAQ, dude. Like, there's no answer. There's no correct answer.
We'll try to find out.
We will email Stu Black himself.
Our boy Stu
Speed
Black.
dial now.
Exactly.
We'll just call him up. We're like, hey, Stu, everybody's mad that Bridger got rid of Forge World. We thought you should know. Also, this Overwatch thing.
Perfect. Thanks, Trey. I appreciate the conversation.
Thank you, thank you. This next question is from Manza.
Manza.
Thank you, Manza.
Yeah.
Was the Storm Raven gunship in the Move to Legends list? The announcement was somewhat ambiguous.
Yeah.
Salamander or GK for said Storm Raven? Question mark.
Yeah, it was very, like, I swear, every time we would try to pull it up, we'd have to, like, Google, and we'd end up on, like, articles of the thing, but not the actual article. Storm Raven is the plastic one, yeah?
I mean, there are resin Storm Ravens.
That's the Storm... Are there?
Yeah. Because it wasn't always plastic.
Oh, sure.
People have, like, old ones.
But the current one's plastic. They make a current plastic kit.
I think.
So, to my knowledge, I don't think it was, but also, I don't... Like, I think... As I mentioned, I think we're going to get like a full list soon. It feels like they've been giving us like a subset of all the things, trying to not only make a certain group of us mad at a time, and soon, hopefully, we'll get the full list of everything. So, I don't think it's been mentioned, but I also don't think that they've mentioned everything yet.
Yeah, there has to be a Legends list, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Other than that, I literally just Google new legends in 40k.
And it's hard to find.
It's so hard to find.
It's hard to find.
It's almost like they don't want people to find that information.
Yeah, it's like they did reverse SEO on it. They were like, how do we make this the least searchable thing possible?
Like, we did announce it.
It was
it's hidden.
It was a flyer that we posted outside of headquarters.
Yeah.
If you didn't read it, I'm sorry.
It's like in the Hitchhiker's Guide, right? Where they're like, the notice was posted in your galactic community center, like for the last 50 Earth years, and they're like, we don't even have space travel, so we can't go there to see. Thanks, Manza. Great question.
Thank y'all. This next question
Grey
is
Knights,
from...
definitely.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
No,
Okay.
we're good. Grey Knights. I picked Grey Knights.
I actually agree, Grey Knights. Yeah. Cool.
Coop. This next question is from Neil Adams. Thank you, Neil. Sad that we still have no previews for Quinn/Yunari. Adrian, do you think we'll get our 4++ back and keep flip belts?
Oof. I think flip belt. So I think 4++ feels more likely than flip belts, in the sense that we've seen the fly keyword works differently. Also in the video that came out today. So I'm all of a sudden uncertain about flip belts because fly is totally different. So that one I'm not sure. The 4++ I think could come back. The only reason I feel like they had to do it before was because they wanted to do the change that would have the minimal, that would minimally impact the rest of it. Harlequins have always been a 4++, so I feel like if they can, they'll go back to that identity and then tweak everything around it to kind of match. Yeah. So that's kind of, that would be my predictions there. But flip belts has been, like, I honestly wouldn't have put that into question until we saw the new fly rules. And now I'm like, I think no holds bar.
I think they always should have just been fly. That, like, making it a weird separate rule is flavorful.
Yes, but not...
But it confused people because it's almost always fly.
Confuse me?
Except when it's not fly, and then you're like, why is this not fly? Why don't they just fly?
Yeah, exactly. They could... It's weird because you can move through your own models now. So we let you move through enemy models. But they're almost all infantry.
Fine.
It's weird.
Like they're flipping.
There's
around.
almost less need
Just
for
let
it.
them fly. Just let them fly. Just let them fly. Fly. What's the fly? There's a movie.
What?
Is that Peter Pan?
No. You can fly.
You can fly.
You're doing the Shrek version now.
Yeah,
when the pigs say it. He can fly. You can fly. He can talk. Amazing.
I love that both of you did that on cue.
It's a generational thing for sure. It was a couple years ago. We had someone had it was 4th of July and their birthday, so big pool party, the whole thing. And at some point in the afternoon, someone just put on Shrek, and one by one, each of us are like, "Oh, you guys don't watching Shrek? That's so lame." And
then we sat down and joined them,
and we watched the whole movie, start to finish. And we're just like look around. We're like, we're all old now.
Oh yeah.
It just
It was a great film.
It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cinematic masterpiece.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Neil.
Thank you. This next question is from Caldorf. Thank you,
welcome.
Caldorf.
Hey.
What do you guys think about Deathwing? I think it's cool. Looking forward to Ravenwing stuff. Daddy Lion seems mean. Thanks, Titans.
Daddy Lion.
Daddy Lion.
Seems like an absolute beast.
Yeah, the stuff that hits hard hits really hard, and he's one of them.
And Lone Operative, one of the strongest abilities in the game. again, in the video, talk about you even with a sniper rifle, you cannot shoot these people unless you're within 12.
Can't see 'em.
And let me tell you, you don't want to be within 12 of Daddy Lion.
No.
Unless he's going away. So this kind of falls through with my predictions earlier, which is that don't worry about his 9th edition rules. It's just temporary.
Yeah.
This is the line.
This
like
is
he's
what he
finally
does.
arrived. Now we can just hope Vastor gets the same treatment.
Could be.
Yeah.
Thanks, Caldorf.
Thank you, thank you. This next super chat is from Seedroots. Thank you.
What's up, Seedroots?
Seedroots. Am I wrong in saying chapter detachments are just like armies of renown? Can my Ultramarines play with Dangle's detachment rule? As long as I follow the restrictions? Space Marines Codex, just different detachment rules?
Yeah, so let's see. Let's unpack this.
I don't think you could take Gilliman in the Dark Angels detachment.
No.
But other than that, you can play your blue-plated Space Marines as Dark Angels.
Right. But once you pick a chapter, then you're locked. Like, you can't take other chapters.
Yes.
Is my understanding of it. And that's something that's, like, basically unique to Space Marines from what we've seen.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like... I don't know that anyone... CSM might have it, but...
I doubt it.
That might be it, right? It's kind of the one weird exception.
Yeah. I mean...
You can have the same kind of models, mostly. Actually, wholly.
Right. Except for the faction-specific. Like, Dark Angels have Deathwing models.
Right.
You could take your blue Space Marines, your Ultramarines,
Yeah.
and say that they are Dark Angels.
Yeah.
You cannot take your Ultramarine named characters
Yeah.
and say that they are Dark Angels.
Correct. Yes, that is my understanding.
Which is what you're asking.
Yeah.
Asked and answered.
Not possible.
No, sir.
Good job.
Yeah.
Unpacked it. You
Yeah.
just like open the ribbon, unpacked it.
And then just put it back nice, package it back up, pass it back to you. Thanks, Seedroots.
Thank you, thank you. This next question is from Matthew Powell.
Hey.
Thank you, Matthew Powell. I'm surprised by the amount of dislike with Forge World model rules. I wrote my own rules in 4th. I'll write more in 10th. Friends will fight my brass scorpion.
Yes.
That's the attitude.
Real friends
Yes.
fight their friends' brass scorpion.
Also, they're going Legends, right? They'll still have rules, they just won't be competitively allowed.
At least for the Horus Heresy stuff, they made that clear.
Yeah.
The other ones, I don't remember. But they were like, literally like, by the way, we wrote 10th edition rules for these models.
Right.
You just can't use them in events.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, you know what, Matthew? I think that's a very healthy attitude.
I like that attitude. Look,
Yeah.
John is going to have to play against my Mr. Negative model. Doesn't have rules in the game. I'm going to make rules, and he's going to have to play against him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love the attitude.
And you can convert in proxy. Like, I am 1,000% going to use my brass scorpion, and if it's going to be like competitive, I will use it as a Thor Skulls, and it's going to be fine. So I know, like it sucks, but at the end of the day, like, what are we going to do? We got to keep playing with our toys.
It's still your game, right? You play the game.
Yeah, yeah.
They may own the IP, you own the game.
Oh, that's very deep. of you.
Philosophical, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I try for here. I try to
you.
bring a philosophical angle.
Bridger the philosopher.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. You say Bridger, I say philosopher. Yeah.
First thing that comes to mind.
That like unburied like a deep memory of something. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to unpack that later.
Yeah, you'll have to think about it. It was me on the toilet. That's what you mean.
Yeah, it was a repressed memory. Ah! Why was he sitting there like that?
You open the door and you just...
Why didn't he use his phone like a normal person?
Why was he waiting for me?
Oh, amazing.
We killed Lindsay.
She's dead. That's it. We can't do anymore.
I'm done.
Thanks, Matthew.
Yeah. Okay. Next question is from Philbert.
Hey.
Thank you, Philbert. Why, oh why, are they bringing aircraft back? Orc bombers can suck it.
Bringing back...
Aircrafts.
They didn't go away, technically.
Oops, so sorry.
I guess you can take as many as you want now.
Oh, is that a thing? I'll be honest.
Right, because you can only get 3 of anything.
Yeah.
That's it. 3 of anything,
Yeah.
6 of battle line.
There's less Eldar flyers to take, probably. Because there's only two plastic kits.
But you used to be able to make the Crimson Hunter versus the Exarch.
Oh,
So you could have 6 9 with hemlocks.
Yeah, it was 9.
Which
Iron Skirt, they still have the same. You can't come in turn 1
Right.
rule.
you have to start in reinforcements.
I like that they included hover. So when you're setting up, you can, if you have the hover keyword, you can be like, I'm gonna hover, and then you lose all that stuff for the rest of the game, and you're just a flyer.
For the rest of the game?
I think so, yeah. Which
You
is good.
can't unhover?
No, I'm good with it.
We have VTOL planes that can't un-VTOL?
Let's see. Yeah, if model's in hover mode until the end of the battle. It's weird. All hover aircraft lose aircraft, and then go to exactly 20 move. It's like standardized. No, this is good. So like Helldrakes, we'll maybe see play.
Back in my day, Adrian, only Imperial aircraft could hover. Everybody else didn't know how.
That's not even true.
That's true. Only Imperial aircraft could hover. Yeah, think about it.
that is true.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
actually true.
that was their identity.
Yeah, yeah,
Eldar planes could double pivot. Imperial planes could stand still or move within 20.
Yep. Everyone else.
Nobody else had an identity, turns out.
Well, so the Helldrakes, back in my day,
Back in my
7th
day.
edition, when we had firing arcs, and you had to shoot only in this direction in front of you, the Helldrake was ridiculous because you could shoot 360 because it was just like, and they would fly around, and it had torrent, which at the time was, so you had the flamer templates,
Yeah.
and you had to place it base to base.
Yeah.
Torrent was, you could shoot at 12 and then place it. So they would fly, shooting 360, and you could shoot around corners with torrent. Because you'd like place it,
Oh,
you go up
no.
and then sideways.
Oh,
So you do like these
that's
amazing flybys. Like,
gross.
so cool.
That is cool.
We should go back to that.
We should go back.
If I was a time traveler, I'd go back and play.
Of all the
7th edition.
templates, Flamer templates were the coolest.
They were the coolest. Yeah. Thanks, Phil.
It'll be fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, I think it'll be okay.
This next one is from Stephen Wenham again. Stormbird
Stormbird.
was removed. Storm Raven was not.
What's a Stormbird?
It's a Stormbird. What is? I've never even heard
as
of
a bird.
Stormbird.
Stormbird.
I
Hey
don't.
Siri, what is a Stormbird?
That's not gonna work. I don't think a Stormbird's a thing. I don't believe you.
Oh wait.
Look, I know of the Eldar vampire, and I don't know of the Stormbird.
The vampire. Oh, Stormbird is the giant one.
Like,
like the giant one.
okay.
Wait, isn't
But
that
I
the
thought
Thunderhawk?
that's the Thunderhawk. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It doesn't even have a picture of one.
Warhammer Stormbird.
Yeah. Is this the even bigger version?
No, it can't be bigger. Thunderhawk's like the biggest plane ever.
No, this is bigger. According to Wikipedia, it was.
jeez, it's 1,200 pounds.
Yeah, it's bigger. Before the introduction of the smaller Thunderhawk.
Well, you shouldn't have ever been playing with this, to be honest. So, good.
Make up cool rules and play it like that. I mean, that's you know.
I'm of the opinion that army scale models, like where the one model is a whole army,
Yeah.
belong in Epic. They don't belong in 40k. Like the Manta, the Warlord Titan, you can't make rules for one model that make it balanced against an entire army. You can't do it. Just don't play it in Apocalypse. Don't play it in 40k.
Yeah, totally fair. Thanks, Steven.
Thank you. This next question is from Goobatron.
Goobatron.
Thank you, Goobatron.
Hello.
Can Death Guard get a piece of that AdMech Rad Bomb trait?
Oh my God.
Please? P.S. Hoping for future new Sisters of Silence models. Love that subship faction.
I wish they would do more with it. Maybe they'll do that with the Codex. I could see them doing a detachment or something weird. They need a few more models, though. Well, they need some of those Forge World models. Because they have, like, the transport. That's, like, the weird egg thing.
The what? Excuse me?
The Sisters of Silence transport.
They have a rhino.
No, they have a really cool... It's really cool. It looks like an egg.
Egg?
No, it's cooler than that.
I'm
Chat, look it up if you're...
all right. I don't need an egg that
Sisters.
hatches out Sisters of Silence. That sounds kind of gross.
Look.
They come out all slimy.
It actually looks pretty cool. I don't.
It's pretty cool.
It's like 1950s retro futuristic.
Yeah, it is.
Like, it has a giant fan propeller in the front of it for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, why?
It's great.
It's a spaceship with a fan propeller in the
It's
front.
so cool. No, it hovers.
But if it's hovering that way, then everybody, because like it lands like this.
I think it might
and
be.
then it hovers this way, and everybody's like, "Oh, oh, please stop! Oh! All the blood's going to my head."
That's fair, but it is cool. The rad bomb trait. Yeah, the death guard. Like, remember we were like, hopefully, if there's a way to give -1 strength with death guard, then the extra toughness actually becomes quite saucy. Because then like Space Marines would win you on 6s. 6s, which is that would be really cool.
That's a big deal.
So I don't know, maybe characters.
As it is, yeah, it's a little tough for Death Guard.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Death Guard players that they were happy looking at GW playing Death Guard against demons.
Yes.
But like from my perspective,
Yeah.
they chose that matchup very carefully. Demons are not the kind of thing that would worry me about Death Guard and their problems.
Right. Yeah.
I would worry more about guns. I think guns frighten Death Guard now. Of like, I can't get to you, I'm real slow. You shoot me in the head, and I'm Death Guard.
Yeah.
Welcome to Death Guard. So I think that was a very tactical choice that they made, and I'm glad that Death Guard players are excited watching that battle report. Please don't lose that excitement.
Yeah, honestly.
Take it to heart.
That kind of
store
goes
it
for
there.
everything, right?
Bottle it up.
Yeah.
Save it for a rainy day.
Let's be excited.
Yeah.
Thank you, Goobatron. This next one is from Mike Feely. Thank you, Mike Feely. Any information on how flying transports would work? Will they have to be in hover mode for units to disembark? Is there an extra action required?
That's a fantastic question.
Not that I know of. Like, it's just,
I think they're normal, right?
you just disembark, right? And you, as far as I can tell, can disembark after it moves. Because that's how the rules work.
You can disembark it. But yeah, you just can't do anything else.
Right, you can't move or charge, but you can shoot. So you can fly to the corner of the table and drop off your dudes and but then they stand there. It doesn't mention aircraft anywhere in the transport section.
Yeah, and there's no special things for transports here. So yeah, it would just function normally, which
Cool.
that's actually a big upgrade.
But remember, aircraft have to start in reserve. And when they come in from reserve turn 2, you still can't get out.
Yeah.
So the earliest the people inside are in the game is turn 3 of 5.
Yeah.
So you get them for kind of 2.5 of the 5 turns. That's, for me, that's what kills flying transports.
That is true. Well, aircraft transports.
Yes, aircraft transport. I think that's why they didn't need any special rules for aircraft transports is like, you only get it for like 2 turns.
Right.
You do whatever you want.
Well, you'll come in, you'll have to stay 9 away, right? The turn afterwards is kind of cute because you can zip however far your movement is and then dump them out, which is kind of cute.
At which point, it's turn 3, and
No, I know.
you probably could have gotten there by other means.
I know.
You could have walked, to be honest. It's not that far.
Yeah, it's true.
It's cool. I want you to play your Storm Raven and put all the Storm Raven-y things in it.
Mike is I don't know what Mike wants to run.
Well, but I mean, how many flying transports are there really in the game?
Yeah.
It's like
Just that one.
Storm Wolf.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's the gunship. The other one, the transport one.
Yeah. The Necrons don't really count. There's not many. The Chinork, if it's not scrapped.
I thought that was gone 8. Wasn't that Legends in like 8th edition? They got rid of that ages ago. That thing's been gone for closer to a decade than it's been gone.
Not that long.
I don't know. I think it's been like 5 years. It's been a while. It's been gone for a while. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. This next question, well, it's not a question. This is from Evan Tumanello.
Oh, what's up,
Evan says, your coats have the fly
Aw,
keyword.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. Appreciate it, Evan. As always. What do we gotta do, think?
Yes, you've been getting a lot of compliments on the
Yeah.
on the jackets.
On the rustling. Do they like?
Yeah, the
do they
rustling
like
good.
the rustle?
Yeah. Also, Adrian, what's on the inside of yours? I keep seeing a peak of blue.
Yeah, it's a little flash.
Whoa!
Nice.
Some blue roses going on
Yours is
here.
a lot nicer than mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
hold
this.
on. There we go. Okay.
I got this when I got married. Actually,
looks really
I went to get my suit, and they were like, "Well, you know what? We'll give this to you for less money."
That's really nice. You got flowers in there?
Thank you. I like it.
That looks great.
I like this coat a lot.
Nice.
I would almost go for a coat that's the opposite, where it's flowers on the outside.
Okay.
Is that reversible? Can you turn it
It's
inside
not
out?
reversible, but I was strongly debating there was another one that was
Blue flowers on the outside?
Yeah, it was pretty fantastic.
It's like you can't wear it all the time.
no. I mean, you can't wear a silver one all the time either.
But on occasion, that blue flower
Oh, yeah.
coat would be fly, as they said.
It's a great
yeah.
LVO kind of jacket. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Thanks, Evan.
Yeah, thank you. This next one is from Liberty Fires.
Oh, hey, Liberty.
Liberty Fire says, I can be brown, I can be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. Happy June 1st.
Today, I thought yesterday was the 1st.
Yesterday was June 1st. I don't know.
It doesn't even rhyme. Liberty, are you okay?
Are you familiar with this song? Anyone? Nobody?
Yes, I am.
This is Mika?
Yeah, Mika, yeah.
It goes, I could be brune, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be blue. And then it goes so high you actually can't hear the rest.
Yeah.
Great song.
And in the end, it says Happy June 1st.
No,
but
it doesn't.
really high up.
Yeah.
Still confused by the end of it.
Liberty, are you okay?
Thanks, Liberty.
Yeah, thank you, Liberty. Thank you so much. This next one is from Adriano Tixeria.
What's up?
What do you think about the Space Wolves new sagas? Any changes you made? Hello from Portugal.
Oh, hello.
What's up?
Portugal.
So the sagas are super interesting. And I'm trying to like suss out what I like or don't like or whatever. And like how feasible they are, you know? Some of them feel very much in your control, like take an objective on your opponent's half of the battlefield, or it might be deployment, which still it seems far, but you know, there's lots of fast units that you can take advantage of. So like that one's cool. Some of the better ones are tougher. You know, like killing a character is tougher. But is it in 10th edition? I'm not sure, right? If it's gonna be relatively common to have a unit with a character attached, then making a beeline for it is going to be interesting. We had a similar discussion when we talked about the Knights rules, right? Like killing the Warlord. Is that as hard as it is now, or is it going to be more accessible? So I get nervous having them all be conditional, but I like that they're kind of more inbuilt rather than being like a single Warlord trait and everyone always takes Hunter. I like that it's more integrated in, and I think it's cool.
That's nice, yeah.
Yeah. Any changes? To my list? I think there's going to be a lot of changes, frankly. And we'll see once we see the rest of the stuff, frankly.
Yeah.
I have lots of thoughts on Space Wolves.
Yep. Thanks, Adriano.
Yeah, thank you. This next one, and currently last one.
Why does it always break on the last one?
I don't know.
Oh, did you delete? That's probably why. I think there's a bug in the indexing.
There's like an off by one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you delete the last one, it gets real lost.
Would I have to restart it?
If you refresh the page, if you did that, that should clear it. It forgets everything when you refresh the page. No? Did it?
Hold on.
Just still.
Never forget.
Look, this is why you don't let me write software.
My armor's contempt.
You
always have these like things where it's like, Bridger, if we do this thing, it crashes. And you're like, well, obviously you would just never do that. And we're like, yeah, that makes sense, but like.
It's not production software.
No.
By no stretch. It's very buggy. I'm just aware of the bugs and don't fix them. I'm like, when this happens, it just breaks, so don't do that. Like you put out caution tape around that part of the feature.
Right.
Just don't do
not,
it.
like you cover up the big red button with tape.
Yeah.
Do not press.
Do not press.
But he doesn't put the glass over it to stop you from leaning on it, and he doesn't remove the button. It's just there with a caution tape.
And
it's a sticky note.
It's a sticky note that like goes away after a day.
He gets like blown away.
Please don't press this.
Yeah. What's up, Christos?
This is Christos again. Thank you again, Christos. I need to correct Bridger on aircraft transports. You can move unless you are Death Guard. T3, my BLT, will have moved only 12 inches if I want to shoot.
I understand. So he's saying, because I said you could just be there already.
Right.
And he's saying, well, not if you're Death Guard.
Yeah.
You actually will never get there if you're Death Guard. Oh. But they don't have, you can't take a Storm Raven as Death Guard, can you?
Well, BLTs probably have Deep Strike, right?
Yeah.
And I guess you're worried about getting screened out.
Right. But like this was in reference to aircraft transport. What? You can't take an aircraft transport as Death Guard.
Certainly not anymore.
Because they got rid of the Charybdis.
Chaos doesn't normally get the Storm Raven.
No.
Which is weird, because they got Fire Raptor and everything else, but they never gave him that.
Well.
They gave him Land Raider.
Well.
What's up with that?
I mean.
They don't want you to go fast.
Look. Chaos can't get everything.
Don't like that.
It's not like they're Space Marines.
If Death Guard have a aircraft Land Raider.
What?
Yep. You heard me.
Okay.
Well, look, we've had it before.
Okay.
Blood Angels.
No, I'm with you. Yeah.
That's it. That's my whole point.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to play games with Death Guard, and we're going to try to solve the problem.
We're going to find it out. We're going to see on the table what happens when you play Death Guard against anything that's not demons.
Oh.
Because we already know. We already know what happens with demons. We saw it. They did it.
We need to make a note, because the day's going to come, like, all right, what should we do? And we're going to forget that we had this conversation, but like, this seems like a good matchup, because they won't get shot off the board.
Yep. Yep. No, it's going to happen.
Make a note. Put a sticky note.
Sticky note, Death Guard, not demons. Oh, blew away. Sorry.
Oh, thank you, thank you. We have another question. This is from Strange Charm. Thank you, Strange Charm. First time chat.
Oh,
what do you think Necron identity will be in 10th? No OBSEC, not very tanky, not very shooty. Other armies have better resurrections. Any ideas?
Excuse me, Strange Charm, not shooty? You must have played 9th edition and 8th edition Necrons, and not previous edition of Necrons, where their identity was shooting better than everybody else.
Last edition was 9th edition.
Yeah, but like, no, okay. Look, what I'm saying is in 8th and 9th, they weren't very shooty. But prior to that, they were very shooty. Prior to this 8th, 9th bundle, this package deal of editions, they were very shooty. I think shooty should be their identity.
Okay.
They go, pow, pow, pew, pew, pow, pow, pow. And then when you shoot them back, they get up again. They get knocked down and they get up again. That's their identity.
Never gonna keep them down?
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's a little bit of all these things, frankly, right? Like, there's, again, this is another army with lots of support characters that have huge effects on hype. Like, imagine seeing even old, like, current Necrons without knowing what a Chronomancer does. Night and day. Like, the 5+ invuln is essential to the way the army plays. So I think there are essential buffs that we're not currently seeing.
There's a lot of assumptions in this super chat. When you say other armies have better resurrections, think of all of the resurrecting abilities in the game that we have not seen yet. Resorb, the weird Canoptic Reanimator, the Ghost Arc, Technomancers, do they res things today? Like all of these abilities. The Ghost Arc, all these abilities that we haven't seen, I don't think it's safe to say that other armies have better resurrection, because I just don't think that's true.
Well, you heard it here first. We're excited to play them.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot, just like that.
Excellent.
Cannot wait.
Thank you. We have a question, another one from Cole Nichols. Thank you, Cole. I'll gladly take the call out when you can share those Knights points cost. I was genuinely curious if you could even share the info with us.
Yeah, unfortunately not. We have no points to discuss today. It's this. Tomorrow, it's the...
Tomorrow we turn the book over.
The rest of it. No. Tomorrow we're going to be diving into the Combat Patrol, talking about the stuff that's in the box and playing the stuff in the box. So it's going to be John and I playing, so join us for that. GW has done very strange things with the dates this time around, so we're doing our best to get you everything we can when we can. Thank you, Cole. Appreciate it.
We did better than Polygon. We can say that.
Poor Polygon.
They got the wrong embargo, and we didn't. So
we did better than. All right,
we nailed it.
Tabletop Titans better than Polygon.
Better games reporting than Polygon. I think that's why we got the jackets. We upgraded. We saw how much better we were than them. We were like,
we deserve jackets.
We got to look the part.
Yeah, exactly. That's us.
Games journalism done right.
Okay. Nope. Love it.
So that was the last question that we have right now.
Excellent.
So,
I mean, honestly, I knew there's gonna be lots of questions about just the book. We wanted to have a time set aside to just chat with you folks. There's gonna be lots of content, and I'm sure you'll have more questions, but we wanted to give a time that's dedicated to this without having a battle report or anything around that. So lots and lots to discuss coming up. do join us tomorrow. It'll be our usual stream time. Again, we're going to be playing Space Marines versus Tyranids with the new Combat Patrol. It's going to be a ton of fun. That's going to be John and I. Join us, however, because we're going to be doing, there's going to be a lot of streams. So the next 4 days, there's going to be streams. Tomorrow, John and I playing Combat Patrol. Sunday, it's going to be a learning game. Lindsay and I playing Combat Patrol. And that will be, again, focused towards teaching everyone at home the rules, how you go through it. So if you have anyone that's interested in 40k, great stream to tune in on. And then Monday, it's going to be a doubleheader. It's going to be Lindsay versus Mel.
Oh.
Double beginners, which is going to be cool. That's going to be super sassy.
Be good.
And again, kind of focused towards learning, so if you know folks at home are interested. And then, of course, Tuesday is Members Nights, and that's going to be, again, I think it's John and I, it might be you. We're going to be playing more of this box with another twist that the members will have to see.
So cool.
So much stuff going on. We're really, really excited. Thank you, everyone, for showing up, supporting us, and let's do this edition, yeah?
Yeah, we're going to have a great time playing the Leviathan box, playing 10th edition. So much to learn and discover. I'm so excited. What's your favorite faction? Who are you going to play?
Oh, gosh.
Tell us in the comments below.
Oh, man, so many. Let us know.
Yeah.
We'll catch y'all next time on Tabletop.
Bye.